hopefully the stream will the channel will go live again in a moment. And the channel is once again live. Hello everyone, and welcome to Adventure on So Many Levels, Rime of the Frostmaiden. If the stream is more stable, we will play some Dungeons and Dragons. I'm still getting the little unstable thing, but we will persevere. Definitely, if there's any kind of an issue, we'll address it as need be. But in the meantime, okay, looks like we're back to normal. So, hello everyone. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I'm the Dungeon Master. Our players tonight, Jason Banks as Rowan Gregor. Paul Weimer as Aule.
Salve.
David Archambault as Wilfred Cole.
Hi.
Lee Burdett as Iggy.
Hello.
Nobilis as Martyr Northwind.
Yes, let's please get going.
Yes. And Spence as Smaragd Nachtmir, a.k.a. Mara.
Okay, are we going? Let's go.
Let's go. So, before we go, who wants to say what we did last time? You argued a lot. You tried and failed to get Wilfred's family's signet ring off the bottom of Lake Myrodwalden.
It
was a weird game of fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, worst game of fishing ever.
You did use that mirror in the ancient elven ruins to locate a number of things, including the things that your new friend, the necromancer Valine Harpel, feels is necessary to help her locate and reach an ancient ruined city from Netheril, which will have powerful magical artifacts in it, some of which may help you fight the Frostmaiden. And so some of those things, though, that she needs seem to have been located on an island that might actually just be, the Frostmaiden's, house.
Oh.
Yeah. But yes, so in the meantime, though, before heading that way, you decided that you were going to check out rumors of a strange tower buried in the snow that one of her Arcane Brotherhood colleagues supposedly found before he got himself burned at the stake in East Haven way back at the beginning of the campaign.
And betrayed a number of adventurers in the process.
That is why he, in fact, was burned at the stake, was because the adventurers that helped him find it got betrayed and killed, and, 10 Towns doesn't like that sort of thing. They depend on adventurers. For example, adventurers who will fight off Shardolin dragons that attack. But in the meantime, you were just stopping over in Bryn Shander to get a night's rest before you progressed. Is there anything that you would want to do before you get back on the road?
Yes.
I am more than...
As a matter of fact.
Oh?
Actually, we do the night before going to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Wilfred would ask Mara if I could step out kind of away from the group a little bit.
So we do this before we put up the hut then. Because if you put up the hut or I put up the hut, neither one of us.
Oh, we're in Bryn Shander.
Oh, okay. Well then, yes, we can step aside.
Yeah. And then Wilfred would have his book with, a little bit of a little bit of writing you can see on there and say, I want to thank you for everything you've done. Helping you find my father's ring, healing my sister, just everything you do. And I know that you have a mission of your own, and I swear that I will do everything in my physical and magical power to help you finish it. And as a first step, I think you could use this more than me, and I'll hand you the Ring of Warmth.
Oh, thank you. I honestly thought you did not like me. So this is... Thank you. This is a very big gift.
Yeah, I am very far from not liking you.
Oh.
Just get nervous around some people.
Okay, well, I am very nice person, so you should not be nervous about me.
Yes, you are very nice.
But thank you. That is comforting to hear that you will help me once we come up to where my mission takes me. But until then, I will wear this in use it very well.
Good. Thank you.
And if you want to learn spells from me, I see that you want to learn spells. I will try to teach as best I can.
Yeah, where they're kind of gifts from gods and such is different than learned from books. Yeah.
I mean, you could become a devotee of Selene.
I mean, Selene, she accepts many people.
True. It's just well, I've I learned from books to start with, so it's kind of how my brain works.
It's very interesting. But well, the offer stands. If you do want to learn, I am happy to try to teach.
Okay. Thank you.
Nice. So the Ring of Warmth, as mentioned, it looks like this on the screen. Or actually, if I shared that one here, let me share that with you. So it's this little fur-lined wooden ring with two little snow weasels nestled on the top of it.
Oh, they're cute.
And while wearing the ring, it does require attunement, but you have resistance to cold damage, and you and everything you wear and carry are unharmed by temperatures as low as minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
This is delightful. And so cute. Look at it. It's furry. It has the little things. I wish I could just take them and like snuggle them. Oh, this is so cute.
Very nice. Okay, so everybody is able to get their long rest, staying there in Bryn Shander. One of the things, though, that does, while you're in town, like while you're starting to kind of pack up to leave, you do get a runner, like that. It's that little kid messenger from Speaker Shane who finds you again and just says, Speaker Shane did want to talk to you if you, if you have a minute.
I think we do.
All right, so you head downstairs because basically you are still kind of like afforded this room in the heated third floor of the town hall there. But as you are making your way down there, and you Speaker Duvessa looks like she's gotten at least one good night's sleep since you last saw her. She still looks a little weary and busy, but better than before. You're pretty sure that she got rest at some point. But she says, so I don't want to burden you with any additional requests other than to just ask if you have had in your adventures here in Icewind Dale any experience with the goblins from Karkalok?
We met a few of them in our travels.
Yes. Yeah, they were trying to steal a sled of iron for.
Well, steal may be a strong word. They had claimed it. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was abandoned when they found it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I have to say that everyone that I've been able to speak to so far has pretty much the same type of story to a greater or lesser degree, mostly merchants that got attacked on the road or, just otherwise encountering them scavenging out in the wilderness and that sort of thing. But it has always been kind of an antagonistic relationship with the goblins here in Icewind Dale. But oddly enough, yesterday, a goblin snuck into town, and when he was apprehended, had a letter addressed to me personally. I don't want to imply that I think all goblins are automatically bad, but I will say that I don't know any in Icewind Dale. So I was a little surprised, and apparently Chief Yarbnock of Karkalok has extended an invitation to conduct treaty negotiations.
All right.
What sort of treaty?
Well,
Peace, I guess. The sheriff, of the town, like the captain, this guy Markham Southwell, basically just says, "It's a trick. They know we're weakened right now because of the dragon attack. They're trying to just draw us out or something."
so do you need help with security with whoever it is that's going to negotiate with them?
Well, that's kind of the thing. I wasn't sure we should even really pay it any attention at all.
Well,
When were they hoping to have these negotiations begin? Was there a time frame, or was it just an open invitation?
No, basically, what the note says is that we should send a delegation to Karkalok, and they await our response. But I certainly don't want to send a delegation to their deaths, and I'm not sure what they would have to offer us in any case, or what they would be asking from us. I suppose if they were willing to stop attacking merchants on the road, that would be good. But I have no idea what's going on here. This is the first correspondence of any kind we have ever had from them. So I don't mean to necessarily involve you in this, except that if you had thoughts on the matter, I would appreciate the advice.
If you're going to send them, I mean, if this is an earnest gesture, then I would still send someone capable in protecting themselves just in case. But if you're not going to entertain the idea right away, once we're done with our business out east, I mean, we could come back and go talk to them on your behalf.
Well, if you are willing and available, I would absolutely take you up on that. We can't really spare the people right now to show up with enough force to be safe. You've seen what we're going through here, and we're doing the best we can, but I can't really spare the men right now. But if you wanted to stop by there, I would certainly give you the authority to negotiate with them on my behalf, assuming that you don't promise them anything too unreasonable.
I think probably that would be something we would need to do later. Maybe if you could politely say, "Hey, we've got a lot going on right now. This isn't the correct time for this." And say, we'll get back to you if you're willing to entertain this at a later date. We can get back to you later, but there's a lot going on. Maybe.
But at the same time, delivering that message along with just like finding out what they want and what they're willing to give and that kind of thing would be a useful thing. So we don't need to necessarily negotiate the agreement, but we could at least find out what they have to say.
Yeah, but weren't we heading up? We're heading out east right now, so we would.
Does anybody in the party have sending? I'm pretty sure
Mira
at least
does.
one of us.
Well,
Mara does.
I would. Who would we send to?
So what
I would
I'm
have to
thinking
know the
is,
face and the name of the person if I am doing sending.
here's what I think we could do. We could go there, talk to whoever's in charge. Mara gets to know who they are. Find out what they're offering, what they want, that kind of thing. Come back, tell the speaker what's the what, and then use a sending to say yes or no. That way was only one trip.
I mean, if we go and we talk, as long as I am not out of spells, I can do the sending to you, speaker, as soon as we talk to them, and you would be able to give me a short response.
I think Valine actually just kind of says, I know that your relationship is primarily with the Seekers, and I am merely another client of theirs. But if there is not a pressing timeline, we were on our way somewhere in the opposite direction.
That was my thought.
Yeah, that was my.
Yeah, it is difficult to.
Well,
to-
so yeah, I think Speaker Shane says, "You've done so much for 10 towns. Do not feel you owe me anything. If you can make time at some point to go speak with the goblins, I would be appreciative. I can't spare anyone right now."
How about this? Once we are finished with our tasks that take us in the opposite direction, once we are on the way and can address these goblins, I will reach out to you and let you know that this is a thing that we can do, and you can let us know if you have done so already.
That would be appreciated. Thank you.
That sounds like a good plan. So, onto the road.
Okay.
Ah,
All right.
And we're going via ruins of Denival and Koenig, right?
Yes. that would be-
Yeah, so I mean,
So-
we hadn't really talked about it in that detail, but certainly you could. So if while you have the dog sled, you are able to travel 3 miles per
I
hour.
would like it to be known that while we were in town, I went and tried to find sage so that when the zombies whiff got near, I could just smell the sage.
Okay. Sure.
And that
I
happens
think
on
you can do
Piccolo,
that.
Yeah.
So it would take you 7 hours to get to Caer Koenig by road, assuming that you don't stop long in Caer Denival.
Yeah. How? Which one of it that had that castle, the fortress that was?
That was Caer Denival.
Did it hold up well, or did it get?
I mean, you haven't been there. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think you can really see it well from,
I think
from where you
I
are.
think that's what he's jumping ahead to being there.
Oh, so yes, if we want to say you guys get on the road, and then some 6 hours later, you are arriving at Caer Denival, I will tell you what you find there. So you arrive and discover that the castle, in fact, is not merely did it hold up well, but it looks like it was not even attacked, like it was left alone.
Huh.
Huh.
The rest of the town, however, is destroyed and deserted.
Well, I would expect that the people took refuge in the castle. At least I would hope they did.
Do we stop and find out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
I think-
stop and spend a little time. We've got a little time today.
Okay.
Let's stop there and find out.
Okay. So you head. I'll put you on the map there.
And to be honest, if that castle held up so well, they could probably take in people from Caer Koenig and nearby areas if need be, especially since
It's been long enough. They may have already done so.
yeah.
Oh yeah, because of the new lighting settings, I have to put your tokens on here to so that you can see the map. Just so
There we
you
go.
have a visual memory of what this place, the layout and all. So, as this map obviously is from before the attack, right? And so, as you are coming in from the east way, from this western entrance, pretty much every building here is rubble or burned to the ground. But looking up the hill at the castle, untouched.
Hmm. Yeah, go up to the castle and knock on the door.
Okay. Yeah. So there is a little bit of brief consternation from the guards, like they're clearly having an animated conversation with each other as you approach. But then one of them leans down and just says, Speaker Seaver will receive you if you give us just a moment. We just need to get his go-ahead, but I expect he'll allow you entry in just a moment. If you could just be patient just for a moment, please. Thank you.
I'm gonna keep a wary eye for anything that's going on, because
Yeah, guards are not like leveling weapons at you or anything. Just that
May I make an insight check to see to see if I can understand why they are so nervous?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Insight. Oof, that's a 10.
I mean, he does seem nervous, but it's hard to know why.
Okay.
So eventually, after a few minutes, the front door does open, and here I'll go ahead and, well, you know what? How about this? Rather than kind of put you on that map and deal with all of this, we'll just have this initial conversation. You guys decide how you would proceed. But after a few minutes, the main gate does open. And as you enter, you are greeted by Speaker Seaver, who you recall having rescued him from the basement from the devil cultists, right?
Yep.
And so he is standing there, flanked by some guards who are not like at the ready, but they are present. It's just kind of like Secret Service follows the president anywhere, no matter, whether they're on guard or not. It's like he's got his guys there, is the point. But they're not brandishing their weapons or anything. And he did just open the gates for you. So he greets you, and he is looking maybe a little bit nervous himself. And he says, the Seekers, I am so glad to see that you were able to survive the devastation. I've heard some rumors that, in fact, it was you that slayed the beast.
Yes, we did. It was a tough fight.
Well, I can only imagine it was terrifying watching its rampage.
Yes, it was we had no idea what direction it was going to go next.
So would you wish to stay? My previous offer of hospitality is, of course, still open.
No, we have other places to go tonight, but thank you very much for
of course.
I really wanted to inquire as to your safety.
Yes, I'm doing, thankfully, quite well. I wish I could say the same for the rest of the town. I know how it looks.
Yeah, I feel like we kind of noticed the rest of the town is gone, but this place seems to be unscathed.
Well, that based on what we understand of the dragon's behavior, it was a construct, as you're aware, and that
he looks surprised. The speaker does.
And it appears to have been given instructions to destroy the towns. And since the castle is far enough away, it did not get attacked. But you did, of course, take the townsfolk in as refuge when they evacuated the town.
Of course, I did.
Okay, but that's we were just making sure of that people were able to get away.
Is he telling you the truth?
People like to make an insight check.
Yes, please.
Well, that's an 8.
14.
Let's see what I got.
I think. Let's see. Well, let's see who else is. How everyone's doing. 6 is not going to tell you much.
Mara is not even going to try.
Okay.
There is, it's very confusing. And also, he is wearing something that is very shiny, and she is very distracted by it.
All right. So I think with the 15 and Iggy got a 14, you get the sense that he's not telling you everything, but it's not an out and out. He's not just lying to your face, but there is, you get the feeling that there is something that he's not saying, and he hopes that you don't press further.
Has something happened since we've been gone? Before the dragon attack?
No. I thankfully you eliminated the cultists holding me prisoner, and everything had been remarkably quiet since then.
Were you besieged by Durgar?
Well, during the attack, there were Durgar reports of the Durgar in the town during the dragon attack.
But not here?
Well, not in the castle.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, I understand that the castle is a bit far from the town, but the uphill climb is kind of the bridge between that. It kind of solidifies the town and this place. So it's not like civilization ends and then there's just the castle on the hill.
Is there a question there? I'm sorry. I'm trying to follow the conversation. I wish I had more answers for you. I don't know why if it's just the distance or what, but I don't know why the dragon spared the castle. It took some time with the rest of the town, and it just did not even fly up here.
Yeah, I think that's probably a programming issue for the construct.
Are you okay, Speaker? You're seeming a bit flustered.
I apologize. I understand. My concern is that this is something politicians have to be aware of. You understand? Is the appearance of impropriety. I understand that it could look suspicious that the castle is untouched when the rest of the town is burned, and I admit to feeling a little bit of anxiety that you might suspect that I was involved somehow, God forbid.
No, we don't. We understand. We've actually seen a similar behavior in other towns where the dragon has specifically attacked the town itself. It didn't attack anybody fleeing. It didn't attack boats. This is consistent with its behavior elsewhere. We fought against it in East Haven before it came here, and that's the way it behaved.
So, just a meta note, that's not actually true.
No?
I'm going to...
East Haven, you fought it off before it finished doing what it was going to do, and it flew on to the next town early.
Yes, right, that's correct. But
and you didn't really you didn't see what it was doing in any other town except Bryn Shander.
Okay.
So I'm just saying I don't want to step on what your character is saying. I'm just saying that if you had talked to people from other towns where it was allowed to do its thing uninterrupted, you would find that that's not the case.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to use detect thoughts.
Okay. Yeah, so they yeah.
DC.
Well, so you get a surface thoughts at the beginning, right? Like without him having to make a check. You can just see the surface thoughts a little bit. And what he's thinking is like, please don't let them think I was involved. Please don't let them think I was involved. Like, but in a way that you believe that piece of it at least is sincere. Like, he was not involved with the dragon. Like, he had nothing to do with that.
Okay.
And that's his primary worry right now, is that you're going to think that he was somehow.
Okay. I want to probe deeper, though, because I feel like because of the insight earlier, it feels like there's something he's avoiding telling.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, I hear you. So, let's see. Hang on. I have to get his stats to have him do a roll for you. It's a wisdom saving throw, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Not very high, but...
So oh, okay, yeah. So he is a commoner by stats, so he gets just a straight d20. He gets an 11.
Yes. That's a fail.
Okay. So you probe deeper, and what you discover is that the thing he was leaving out is that when the dragon first started to attack and people fled to the castle to seek shelter, he initially made them wait in the uphill climb, hoping that would be enough. And a bunch of them died because the dragon did attack the uphill climb, but he did let them in after it started attacking that building. So he did let them in, but not as soon as he could have.
Oh.
He does seem to feel remorse about that, like that was the wrong call in hindsight, and he feels bad about it, but that is what he was avoiding telling you.
Peter, you seem very troubled, and these attacks were very troubling. Not everyone could be saved. All that we can do is learn from the mistakes that we have made and try to do better.
Yes.
I don't know if this helps, but perhaps it will heal the turbulent waters behind your eyes.
It is good. As the leader of a town that has been so devastated, I can't help but feel some responsibility. And I know that all I can do from here is hope to provide this castle as a safe haven for people from which to try to rebuild if they wish to. But I know a lot of people have already left for Bryn Shander, or perhaps even to attempt to return below the mountains.
Have you taken in any survivors from Caer Konig or the
Uh,
other towns around here?
None stopped here, because Caer Konig was where the dragon went after us. Anyone fleeing Caer Konig just passed us by on their way, I think, to Bryn Shander, hoping that that would be safer.
I'm going to send. I'm going to send my words to him in his mind and say, I saw the mistake in your decision making, and I understand that you have remorse for this.
Does the tech thoughts do that?
Yes, I can, because I can use it as a form of
His helm of telepathy is different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
because I can use it as a form of interrogation to get him
Okay.
to have thoughts. So
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to say, I know what you did and it was a mistake, and I understand that you have remorse for that. But from now on, if you don't want us to come back and see you in a far less hospitable manner, you should live for the wealth and the protection of this town, not just yourself.
There's I think all the rest of you see him kind of lock eyes with Rowan for a moment, even though. Well, so Rowan, did you say that out loud? You didn't have to have. Okay.
No. It was
Yeah.
just in his
So
head.
there's just a moment where, like, he suddenly kind of locks eyes with Rowan for a moment, and then kind of just does that, blinking man gif, just. Of course, I mean, it's all I can do now to just try to make use of what resources we have here that were spared the rampage, and try to give people what they need to rebuild or do whatever they wish to do from this point on. I just hope that I can help people.
That's good, guys.
Maybe we should.
We should check
For the
back
end of
in.
the night, we should send a sending to the town speaker in Bryn Shander, because I mean Bryn Shander is absolutely packed to the gills, and if some of the
Absolutely.
people from Caer Konig or this surrounding area who want to come back and rebuild here, if they can come back to the Caer and start to rebuild, that would lift the burden on Bryn Shander and Bryn Shander speaker, and would also help the town.
And if we could also potentially stop by the Dwarven Valley at some point and see if they can also send some builders to help rebuild. And if we do get a way up to help negotiate with Marcher's people, they may be able to assist as well, seeing as this is going to take some time and a lot of resources. And I'm sure the speaker here has such an empathetic heart that he would gladly take the assistance of any of those here to help rebuild after this tragedy. Huh?
Of course. I owe my life not only to you, but to the people of Ten Towns, and anything that I can do to help us recover from this devastating tragedy, I will do.
More than you know.
That's the plan then.
Okay, hold on. And I do ascending to the speaker of Bryn
Okay.
Shander, and I say, "Hello, speaker. It is Mara. We are at, where are we?
Care Koenig.
Care
Or,
Koenig.
no, excuse me, Care
Care
Dinival.
Dinival.
Daredevil.
Cair Dinival.
Cair Dinival, and they could use some skilled labor to help rebuild some of the town. If there are skilled refugees, they would be welcome at Cair Dinival."
Thank you, Mara. We are at somewhat of a shortage for skilled labor as it is. However, there's no question that we're also packed to the gills. So there may well be some people who would, find it more comfortable to attempt to rebuild out there. So I will pass on the information.
Okay, the speaker will pass on the information, and you may get people probably in the next day or two.
Good. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, let's continue on our way, guys, and I have some things to inform you of while we go. And I just kind of, as we gather up, I just continually look at the speaker in a very, you know what? It's like my mother looks at me when she hears about my sharpshooter shop.
He's learning more than just shooting for center on that.
Yeah. So as you're walking away, Valine does lean over at one point and just says, "This is where Avarice was hiding out." Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Basement.
Seems like her sort of place.
Yeah.
It needs some work.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I hope I wonder where, as much as I want to know where she's at, I don't want to know where she's at. Because she seems like trouble.
I would just
Well,
as soon not know where she's at. You are absolutely correct that she is trouble. If I never saw her again, that would be just fine with me.
If this was some terrible novel, we'd probably meet her in the Lost City.
No.
Oh. Anyway,
On the way, as we're getting, once we've left the speaker's fortress, I tell them, so yeah, the reason why our buddy in there was so flustered by our arrival is because when the attack happened, he didn't let the citizens into the fortress immediately. So lots of them died because of it. So I think he thought we had heard this and had come to collect on such an action.
well,
But we are not murderers, no? You all are not murderers.
Oh, I wouldn't kill him. No.
We would at best just send him to the town speaker in Bryn Shander and let her deal with him. She's the head of the council.
He is. But to be fair, he does have remorse for this. I feel like it felt like a decision made in haste, and because of it, the ramifications were grave.
I imagine that memory will be enough to there'll be plenty of punishment for him for the future.
I like this helmet, by the way. If a bit squishy.
Yeah, like as you're all watching, it sort of pulses.
Yeah, you just see, it's like,
Does it make you feel dizzy when you use it or something?
no, it gets a little warm, kind of. It feels almost like if you put your hand in porridge.
Why would you
Cracked
put
it
your
on
hand
your
in
head?
porridge?
By the way, you can see under the hood, like it kind of wriggles and bubbles, kind of like the back of a wet mogwai.
I have actually I've actually done that, though not purposefully. It was a rather it's a rather embarrassing slip up I made when I was younger.
But yeah, it's squishy, warm, but you get used to it though.
Well, we have places to go.
On the road again.
All right, so you get on the road again, and another hour and a half or so brings you to Caer Konig. Caer Konig, unfortunately, like so many of the other towns you've seen so far, is essentially it's entirely destroyed. Like it's pretty much just it's a ghost town.
Hmm.
So
Anyone who survived must have already moved on.
yeah, and so we'll just.
I wonder if anybody tried to take refuge in that Durgar stronghold.
That's a bit of a hike.
Yeah, I doubt that they would do something like that.
Well, that's a bit far out of our way to check, I'm sure.
I feel like it would be close. It would, because of the road, it would just be faster to go to Caer Dineral.
Valaine says, also, if they're being attacked by Duragar, I'm not sure they would have thought of a Duragar outpost as the safest place to try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if we have the opportunity to do so, we should check to make sure that the Duragar outpost is still deserted or still free of Duragar.
I'm hoping the dwarven leader sent his people to take it over, seeing as he seemed very excited about taking something away from the Duragar.
That
I think we can trust that was handled.
Well,
I am anxious to be onto the Lost Spire.
Yeah. So you have you're about 7 hours into your travel today. At dog sled pace, you've got about 6 hours worth of time to get to the Lost Spire.
How about we're 7 hours in? Let's go an hour along the coast of the lake. Camp out, and then strike out across the frozen northern part in the morning.
What do you
Get
think,
about
Ranger?
right there.
Would we, even though we're all in the dog sleds, we would still have to do checks because of the cold, correct?
Well, so if you do more than 8 hours, but one more hour on the road wouldn't require any checks.
Yeah, 1 more hour should be fine.
All right, and Valine is certainly eager to get going, especially since she knows she can cast the tiny hut and isn't too worried about
we got 3
an
people.
unbreakable. It's a handy spell to have, and having
We,
multiple
Especially-
people.
we could have
especially-
separate domes, and then
Yeah, I mean you
spread it out
could.
a little.
And it's good too, just
Yeah.
on the basis of the idea that theoretically you could, like if you were short on spell slots, as long as someone still has one.
It's like a tiny apartment complex.
Actually, I feel like that is a ritual spell though. Anyway, isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah.
So I guess it doesn't
Yep.
really cost a spell
Yes,
slot. even.
so I realized that if we are not doing it in battle, I can do it without expending a spell slot.
So speaking of ritual spells, at I think probably during the evening there, as you're settled in at your campsite, Wilfred, Valine does come back over and say, I'm sorry I was a bit short with you the other day when I made my initial offer. I do have some other ritual spells that I could potentially show you if you are still interested.
Well, how about to make it easier, I share with you the ritual spells I know.
Okay. She glances at those and she gives a few little like gentle sort of chuckles of like, oh yeah, okay, those were your choices, all right, and and I think you don't get it's not judgmental so much as it's a little bit like maybe a teensy bit patronizing. It's a little bit like a kid's second grade teacher reviewing their writing assignment. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, okay, no, that's good. It's very good. Good job. That sort of. But what she tells you is that she has as ritual spells that you could potentially transcribe from her spell book, should you have the paper and ink to do so. Find familiar, Tensor's floating disk, comprehend languages, and then of course there's detect magic and Leomund's tiny hut, but you knew about those already. But find familiar, Tensor's floating disk, comprehend languages, I think, are ones that you could potentially get.
Yeah. Definitely find familiar and comprehend languages would be useful. But I need the materials.
Yep.
Yeah.
If there's anything I can scrounge up in the wilderness for you, just let me know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the ink and paper is easy enough to find in place like Bryn Shander and possibly even East Haven, at least used to be. But it costs money, and it's not.
Although I have no doubt, Mr. Gregor, that if anyone could find fancy ink and paper out on the tundra, it would be you.
And who knows? Maybe there might be some of that at the Spire.
Given the type of things that we've come across in the wilderness, I would not be surprised.
True, a wandering mage frozen solid by a sudden blizzard actually seems quite possible.
I mean, just think of the things we've come across thus far:
Mhm.
ancient white dragon, mummy, ancient elven ruins, a war carriage pulled by polar bears, driven by goblin chieftain. We've come across a lot of odd things.
Oh yeah.
A frost giant riding a mammoth. Who
Yeah.
tried us.
That's unusual.
Durgar, Dragon Construct.
Yeah.
So,
You know-
in any case, sorry, I guess I didn't mean to cut you off exactly. I thought you were kind of wrapping up.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
are.
Okay. So in any case, you were able to get a long rest without interruption. And in the morning, you head on out to continue towards the Lost Spire.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, let me
Are there going to be dice
advance
rolls?
the calendar. Technically, there was two.
The dice roll list episode.
Incidentally, I had it wrong before that the holiday about the moon was actually a month further off. My apologies. It's after.
It was still a memorable moment, and I do not take any of it back.
Oh, sure. Okay, so hang on. What is? No. Okay.
No, I wonder if the mirror on a night of an actual full moon, if the mirror would work all night, because we had to ration our questions and things because we were making it activate artificially. But I wonder how it would work if that were not a concern.
Yeah, and it seems like the druids were doing kind of what we were doing. Like when it wasn't a full moon, they were using spells to mimic the moon. So they
Yeah.
Right, but I
probably had
I
to-
was to be interested in going there if it happens that we are passing through that area and it has on a full moon. I'd be interested to see how it works then.
Valine, while you're discussing that, says, I actually heard rumors that there was an ancient circle of frost giant thrones that supposedly their ghosts would appear on the full moon.
Yes, I think we've heard something about that ourselves. Yes.
I
We
believe-
collected a lot of rumors along the way while on our travels.
Yeah, the
Taverns are a well of information.
yeah.
Yeah. Some
So-
of it better than others.
So, do you head on out to the Lost Spire then? It would be another
Yep.
5 hours on the road.
Oh yeah, that's easy.
All
I
right.
think Iggy was going to say something.
No, I'm good. No, I was just saying that was Jarlmoot, the place
Thank
where
you.
the
That's
frost
correct.
giants come
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, so to the west. So, as you are, making your way towards the rumored location, you do spot as you're looking around for what this place must be, but eventually one of you spots a 20-foot high, irregularly shaped spur of rock juts out of the tundra ahead of you. Its smooth and shiny surface cannot possibly have been worn down by the wind. No, this protrusion looks utterly out of place, as if it had been thrust into the ground.
Looks like somebody needed some better construction designs or something.
Well, let us investigate.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
So,
See, I'm gonna.
It looks like a spire to me.
You said it was how tall?
20 foot is what's sticking out above the surface.
Oh.
Is there
Does it
a,
look
is there a,
any
I assume you are approaching. Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, does there look to be
Approaching it.
any other kind of structures around it, or this just
There,
seems to
there
be-
is nothing else around it. It's just sticking up out of the ground in the middle of a wide open tundra.
all right. Well, let's have a look.
Okay. So as you, if does anyone have proficiency in history?
Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
If you have it, you can make a roll.
Dirty 20.
Okay. Yeah, so looking at it, you can confirm that the stone there, definitely not naturally formed or manually hewn. You recognize that this must have been shaped by magic in a way that's not altogether unknown to the magic of... Gosh, this music I picked is a little bit more intense than I expected.
Yeah. I was wondering
And,
about
and a
that.
lot louder.
Yeah. Let's try this one. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so but you know, though, that even something like, shape, like mold stone, like could theoretically do a surface like this. It's nonetheless, it really just does seem to be something like no one would use magic like this unless that kind of magic was cheap to them. Because if you were going to have a whole city or a whole building built like this, that would be a lot of magical power. That why would you do that if you could just make it some other way, right? But if, for example, you had extremely advanced magic, maybe it would have been easier for them.
Yeah.
But as soon as you're seeing it, Valine is saying, I think we're on to something. This does seem, I wouldn't be a bit surprised to discover that this is a piece of our fallen city, perhaps fallen a bit earlier than the rest of it.
Make it shaped like this. I'm sure it would be a simple matter for stonecrafters to imitate it, but for someone even of your power, I'm sure would take much longer.
Yes, difficult, time-consuming. And if my studies are not leading me astray, I suspect that what we are ultimately seeking is an entire city like this.
So would there happen to be a way maybe inside this piece, buried under the snow, or would there be a way inside, or is it
Well,
just...
so as you are looking around, right, as you're kind of inspecting it, there don't seem to be any openings on the surface of it itself. However, you do find nearby A slippery 5-foot diameter tunnel that enters the ground at a steep angle and then winds down into the frozen earth. So you suspect that if you wanted to try to go down this tunnel, it's steep and icy enough that if you don't want to use climbing gear or something, it's going to be a little bit difficult to not just fall and slide down it.
We've got crampons.
Yes, yes.
I can fly for a little bit.
Well, let's say.
But I think setting some ropes would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I, myself and Ali, stay up here and act as anchors for rope,
Okay.
while the rest of you go down for now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think actually that the
If it's
I mean, I can go first since I can see in the dark, and also I can send messages to you.
On that note, as you're peering down, you get a little bit of a sense that reflecting off of the icy surface of this tunnel, that there is actually light down there.
Okay.
I'm gonna get a chunk of ice or something, cast light on it, and then just kind of roll it down.
Sure.
See what it illuminates.
It, slides, shunk, 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 but it very quickly slides out of sight. So, but you do see, like, as it's falling down, like it's reflecting off of the icy surface of the tunnel, and sort of flaring. But as it like drops down and goes beyond, the around the corner of this little tunnel, you again just see like there's just a little bit of sparkle on some of the ice that would suggest it's reflecting light from further down.
All right. I lost my equipment when I threw Lila my food, so I do not have any spikes or rope on me. But I'm
Well,
sure
you can
that-
use my rope. Here,
yeah,
Yes.
I've got,
hand over my rope.
I've
I
got
think
50 feet of rope. As well.
actually have rope.
Right.
Part of
So all we need is something to attach it to. So some spikes or something to drive into the ice.
I have
attach.
pitons.
All right.
Pitons, however you pronounce
So
that.
So I will do that, and actually, I will be the first one down
Okay.
because there is light down there, and I'm going to actually hold on to the rope with one hand, and cut into the ice with my hand axe to make
Handholds?
hand and footholds as we go.
Okay.
down.
So everyone's lowering you on a rope, and you are making it extra, even easier for those that will follow you. That's the idea?
Exactly.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you can, with all of that, preparation, you don't need to make any sort of a check. So let's go ahead and move us onto that map. So you're probably not going to see anything yet until I put your token on.
Denied.
Yeah. So the marcher is first. So I put you down at the base of that tunnel. So you descend probably 25 feet, and it kind of curves back and forth a little bit, so it's not a straight shot, which is why you couldn't just see right through it.
Right.
But what you see upon getting to the bottom, the slippery tunnel opens into an upside-down room, the contents of which are coated in frost. Across from the tunnel is a wooden door that's flush with the ceiling, which used to be the floor. The door is ajar, and flanking it are two identical stone statues that hang down like stalactites. Across from the statues are sconces with upside-down flames burning in them.
Well, this is a sight. Come on down. This is interesting.
So as everybody else comes down, I'll share a bit of art with you, a handout. It's just kind of gives you a little bit of a sense of the look of this place. Obviously none of you are this dwarf lady, but you can see.
How high is the door? Is the door off of the ceiling?
So the base of that arch is 4 feet. So like you would have to climb over a little 4 foot
Okay.
like ledge to go through the doorway.
This speaks of that magic you were talking about. Thing is upside down flames.
Valine, as she arrives down there and looks at them herself, she says, "Oh no, those are just continual flame spells. I suspect it's simply that the tower is fallen as suspected and landed upside down."
Yeah, but wouldn't it eventually the magic run out of this if it's not connected to its source?
Continual flame spell will last until it's dispelled.
So I wouldn't be at all surprised if dispelling a
Who am I
continual
missing? Who do I not? Oh, I don't have Rowan on there. Okay. And then let me get Valine's token.
Yeah, I imagine dispelling a continual flame after such a long time would be even easier than it would be before.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, there's no reason that I'm aware of for it to weaken over time. It would require changes in the weave itself, although it's certainly true that there have been a number of disruptions in the weave in the meantime, but if it is still functioning now, I would expect it to continue to do so.
Okay.
Now, the upside down doorway, is the door itself still there, or is it?
So as I described in that first bit for Marcher, there is a wooden door that is ajar. Like the door is there, but it's sort of hanging open.
Okay.
And so, conceivably, I could just climb through it.
Yeah. Also, the statues that are up on the ceiling, where they would have been on the floor, depict a long-faced human dressed in wizard's robes and clutching a staff. But yeah, there's not really anything else in that room. But so as you push through into that corridor, the upside-down stairs at the east end of this frost-filled corridor look like they would have once gone to the lower level, which would be, or rather, what would have been the upper level. So you would have been climbing higher into the tower, but now it would be going down. However, it looks like those stairs are choked with rubble and utterly impassable.
Okay. Well,
And then there's a door on your left and your right.
Yeah, so I'm going to go through this northern door and
Okay.
see what's in there.
All right. Valine is kind of like, I may not always remember to like move her token right away, but she is definitely kind of at the forefront of this expedition as well. Like she's matching pace with whoever's going in front. Maybe not actually taking the place of going first herself, but second. So in that room to the north, this room contains shattered and jumbled equipment, much of it near two heavy wooden work tables, one on its side, the other upside down.
Okay.
So while we are doing an initial inspection, I would like to cast Detect Good and Evil
Okay.
and just keep my eyes out for anything evil.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying. Can you remind me, just refresh my memory, what the list of things that detects are?
For the duration, which is up to 10 minutes, you know if there is an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of you.
Okay, so
as well as where the creature is located. Similarly, you know if there is a place or object within 30 feet of you that has been magically consecrated or desecrated.
Okay. Does it say if it's blocked by anything?
The spell can penetrate most barriers, but it is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt.
Okay. So Valine had her kobolds stay up on the surface. You know you would have detected her zombies from that spell otherwise, right? But you don't detect them from down here. So apparently you know that even though you know some are up there, that you are far enough away from them at this point, or there's enough blocking them that you don't detect them. You don't detect anything else at the moment either. But I assume you keep that up for a little while?
For 10 minutes, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast False Life.
All right.
And you say there's broken equipment. Does any on the floor or ceiling? Does any of it look recognizable?
You're
As-
searching through it.
Yeah.
You find stuff that, like, there's nothing that's like salvageable, but some of it does look like approximately recognizable sort of wizard's laboratory types of things, but it's all kind of broken. The one thing you do find of notice is an iron key.
Well, definitely snatching that up.
Seems smart.
And yeah, I found a key
Yeah.
in a pocket.
Da-na-na-na. So there is also a door on the eastern wall of this room. This
Yep,
that you
and
just
I'm
went.
about to go through it if it is unlocked.
It is. So you climb over the doorway into that room. The floor of this room is covered with shards of glass, frozen pools of spilled liquids, and the wreckage of 2 cabinets. In a niche in the far corner of the room, a metal chest is bolted to the ceiling, and its lid is locked.
Huh. Here, Iggy. I'll give you. Here, see if this key will unlock that chest. I'll give you a lift.
Okay. And I'll stand on your shoulders.
And I'll offer my hand up to stabilize.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the ceiling is 12 feet high, just in case that was unclear. So we have Wilfred on the bottom, Iggy on top, and Marcher spotting. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Iggy, you are using the key to try to unlock that chest. Yeah.
Just to see if it works.
Okay. It does. And so what immediately happens as the door pops open is that 4 vials immediately fall out and are tumbling towards the floor. However,
Try to catch.
so Iggy has one hand free because the key is in the other hand. So you can make one check to try to catch one of them.
Okay, dexterity?
Dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity
Okay.
saving throw.
And Wilfred, I will let make one check too, also. And Marcher can make one.
16.
16 is a success. You snag one.
Oh,
I only made a 5.
Okay. What did you get, Wilfred?
natural 1.
Okay, and then Marcher got a
Right.
5. So, alas, 3 of these 4 vials tumble to the floor and smash, and shatter, spilling their contents uselessly. However,
At least
Iggy,
it wasn't alchemist fire.
yeah. Iggy, you let's roll a d4 for me. Okay. In this case, that 1 isn't bad in any way. As you sort of climb down and inspect it, all of you looking at it together, I'll just tell you, it is a potion of resistance to acid.
That's useful.
It's
Against
yours,
acid,
so you should
for
keep
sure.
that.
Okay. I will not argue this point.
All right.
Wait, what was Valine's opinion on the
Ugh.
She
Yeah,
says,
otherwise.
I think that we can potentially take as a lesson from here on forward that if we open containers that are bolted to the ceiling, their contents might fall out.
sounds about right.
Yes, that's wisdom of the ages.
Yeah. So I think she pushes through into this southern room, and those who follow see an upside-down library. Tall bookshelves affixed to the outer wall have spilled their contents onto the ceiling-turned floor. A large table lies on its side, one leg broken. A 5-foot-wide tunnel in the floor to the east leads down. And so most of the books in here have been destroyed by time and neglect. There is also, Rowan, make a survival check. Rowan? Oh, there we go. There it is, 25.
25,
Yeah,
nice.
Rowan, you can definitely tell someone has already rooted through these books. That's not to say they wouldn't have still left something behind that you might find interesting, but someone has been here and looked through these already. Valine is definitely interested, and so she's immediately starts to try to see which books might still be readable.
I will assist, or she will assist me, whichever one.
Yep. So together, those of you looking through the books are able to recover 3 that seem like they could still potentially be read as long as they're handled carefully.
I'm still looking for good and evil.
Okay. Yeah. So nothing so far.
I'm going, while they're
Perhaps,
go ahead.
perhaps to keep the cold from causing issues, I should hand that over to that ring. Offers protection to things.
Yeah. Anything she's carrying is not harmed by being in the cold.
Yeah.
Well, I think Valine is saying perhaps in a moment when we have seen what they are.
Okay.
So the books are, one is titled Magical Wonders of Netheril, which, Valine is like, I was pretty sure already, but...
Yeah.
And flipping through, it appears that it is a collection of interviews with Netherese archmages who discuss their studies of ancient elven magic and the creation of mythilars. And she holds up a page with a sketch and says, "This is it. This is what we're talking about. This is what would have allowed their city to fly, do all of these other things, and potentially disrupt this everlasting rhyme."
Does the sketch look at all similar to?
So you get the impression looking at the sketch that the mythilar is much, much bigger. But with the bright sort of shining central source and runed like circles around it, though, there is definitely a design similarity.
3 circles or 2?
More than 3.
More than 3. Okay.
But when I say much bigger, you get the impression that this thing would like tower over you if you were standing next to it.
Right.
So then another book is Mysteries of the Faerum, spelled Phaerim. And that is about Faerum, which apparently are telepathic, funnel-shaped monsters of malevolent intellect that lurk in the Underdark. And it includes some disturbing sketches of them.
Not the same creature we fought in the mine, I'm guessing.
No. In fact, I think what Valine tells you is it is currently thought, so far as I understand, that the Faerum are thought either extinct or moved on to elsewhere, but they were certainly a threat to the Netherese at the time of their empire.
Wow. That's definitely interesting.
And the third book is a book called Wizards in the Hollow, and it's the birth of the Netherese Empire is chronicled in this otherwise dull plotting story about the lives of 3 Netherese wizards.
Wilfred is interested in that.
Yeah, so you can recover those 3 books. That is pretty much what you find of note here in this room, except, of course, a rough-hewn tunnel leading down.
Okay. Piccolo, how do you feel about going to investigate the tunnel?
Does it look like there's more light glinting down this tunnel like it was with the first one?
You suspect that the next level down is lit similarly to the one you're on.
Okay. Then
Man.
I'll take my 50-foot of rope and set it up like the last one.
All right. Okay, so as who's going down first? Oh, Piccolo is going down first, right?
Well, I was gonna see if he wanted to go down and take a look to see if there's anything down there.
I mean, he will. He's your familiar.
Yeah.
I think Valine, you're asking Piccolo, and Valine's looking at you a little bit like he's your servant. He's supposed to. What? All right. it's a little bit like, you know, if you go to a tavern, do you say, please, if you're able, if you have a minute, could you possibly maybe go get me a beer? Like, no, you say, give me a beer. They work for you. But that's fine. Everyone has their own relationship with magic. But so Piccolo going down, and you presumably looking through Piccolo's senses, you see this room contains 2 metal cages, both badly damaged. Nearby, 2 roughly dug tunnels, one in the ceiling, which you know Piccolo just came through, and one in the floor, which goes further down. Narrow windows along the bowed outer wall afford you a glimpse of the earth into which this structure impaled itself. There is a door to the north and to the east.
Yep. So, seems safe enough to go down.
Mm-hmm. So
at least there isn't another tunnel right underneath this one. That the next tunnel is over a bit, so we have a nice landing spot.
So, assuming that everyone else comes down, I'll just go ahead and move your tokens over there.
Yeah. I imagine it's probably tall enough that if you're, you know, someone could basically go and hold by their fingertips and then just drop.
Yeah. You could. It's the ceilings are 12 feet high, so like once you get through the ceiling, which is maybe, I don't know. I guess it doesn't really say how thick the floors are. Actually, let's see if it does. It doesn't really say, but nonetheless, it would be a 12-foot drop from the end of the tunnel to the floor of the next room. If you don't climb down a rope, you would have to make that drop.
Yeah. So,
but you use a rope to go down. Yeah. Oh, sorry. There we go. But you climb down the rope to that room. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, in that room, there are, you kind of take a look at those cages. Now you're there, and they're pretty beat up. And like one of them kind of half falls apart even as you're looking at it. One of them holds the carapace of, like, it looks like an insect type part, but it's big enough to be like a humanoid rib cage.
Wow, that's bizarre.
Mm-hmm. If anyone wants to try to make a nature check, you can.
Okay.
Yeah. Nope.
17.
Neither of you recognize it.
Yeah, I have another natural one, so
Yeah.
I have no clue.
All right. So as you're poking around, as mentioned, it looks like Iggy kind of peeked in through that door on the east there, and what you see there is that apparently there was a spiral staircase that would connect this level with the next 2, but like the other stairs, it's just destroyed and choked with rubble. Which is why you suspect why someone dug a tunnel.
Yep.
Yes. Let's check this door over here.
And technically there are 2 doors on the north, but yeah, because one is sort of half into that crushed staircase. But yeah, so someone pushes through. All right. Yeah, so in there, if I can open this thing again. An upside-down table sits in the middle of this room, and books are scattered around it. Clinging to the bowed outer wall, or bowed? What do you guys think? Bowed? Bowed outer wall is an upside-down fireplace. Along that same wall is a window with nothing but hard-packed earth beyond it. There are, as I mentioned, a few books in this room as well. Assuming that you continue to look for ones that are legible, you find 2 more. Ajamar's Guide to the Fantastic. This breezy, lighthearted treatise on illusion magic was required reading in its many Netherese classrooms. It describes clever ways to use common illusion spells. And then the unfettered mind. This lunatic text discusses how one might exist solely as a disembodied brain preserved for eons in a magical suspension fluid. It includes sketches of brains in jars. It occurs to me that you all might like a handout reminding you what those books are. So I will make one.
Yes.
Yeah. Think that last one. Wolf would be like, Eileen, you want this one?
Well, I mean, if you're offering, sure.
Yeah, I'm okay being not a.
Oh, I'm
a-
not interested in being a brain in a jar. But I am interested in how that might be accomplished.
Okay.
Some of your constituents might decide that that's a thing that they want to try.
All right, there's a new handout, Books Found in Lost Spire, that you should all have. Yeah, so that's what you find in that room. You realize that the other door that would have been from the north... oh, well, I guess technically you didn't see that because one of your tokens was a little bit over the wall, so... There is a door to the south that just leads to the stairway, but then there's also a door to the
turn over
west.
the table and just see what's under it.
Yep. What is under it is a patch of stone that used to be the ceiling. I mean, I don't.
My curiosity.
Oh, sure. No, I do not wish to imply that that was not a smart thing to check, but it just so happens there's nothing there. But you check through that room to the west there, and this room contains the shattered remains of a desk and some chairs. But as Wilfred and Iggy step through there, you immediately stop hearing any sound from outside the room, or from inside the room. It's like stepping through the doorway makes you suddenly deaf.
Eileen, can you hear me?
You can't even hear yourself. And actually, Valine is watching you through the doorway and just clearly mouthing something to you, but you don't hear it at all. You step through and she says, "It would appear that room is under a silence effect."
Yeah, a very good
for
one.
studying.
I am familiar with spells which can cause that temporarily, but it is impressive that it is apparently a permanent enchantment.
Huh. Well,
Less impressed with continual flame, more impressed with that.
yeah.
Can I take a little bit more of an in-depth look into this room to see if I can see if there's a reason that it's still like this?
I mean, I think I'll just tell you there's not really anything to see about it. There's no glowing glyph or anything like that.
Okay.
It's just, it looks like it was perhaps a reading room that they enchanted it so that it would be quiet.
No talking in the library.
That's actually familiar.
Yeah, so Valine says, I suspect that it could be dispelled if we were to try that, but I also don't see any specific reason to waste a spell slot on that.
Yeah. I mean, not something causing a problem, so.
It is certainly true that there is evidence so far that someone has been through here already. So hopefully, not everything has been plundered, but we shall see. Shall we continue further down?
Yes. Unless someone else has an issue.
There was another door, wasn't there?
There's a door that just leads to the crumbled stairway. So do you send Piccolo down again?
Yes, just to make sure there's still a floor beneath the...
Yep. There is, and as you are looking through Piccolo's eyes, this chamber appears to have been a wizard's laboratory, as evidenced by the upside-down storage cupboards and empty shelves fastened to the walls, the shattered glass and alchemical equipment strewn across the floor, and the arcane symbols painted on what is now the ceiling. In the middle of this space, 5-foot wide passageways punched through the ceiling and floor lead to other levels. Near them, a partially collapsed wall exposes a room that lies beyond.
Okay.
And
So
there's
yay,
a, you know,
floor.
so there's a gap in the wall to the west, and then a door to the north, and then another one to the east, which you suspect goes to the same crumbled spiral staircase.
Does anyone else have any more rope?
I'll donate mine.
Well, with Piccolo's help, we could probably actually recover the rope.
Yeah, but he can't tie the knots.
I
if we're trying
am
to climb
I
out.
am generally inclined to leave ropes where they are so that we can climb out if we need in a hurry if we need to.
Yeah, I can only fly 2 people at a time.
All right, is everyone heading down then?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Let me just clump everybody briefly so I can drag everyone all at once. Bloop. Bloop. Oh, I grabbed the dotted line as well. There we go.
Piccolo is just sitting on one of these shelves waiting for everybody else to come
Yeah.
down. That's why he's sitting there.
All right, so Valine is, I think she's peering over the tunnel, kind of looking through the broken wall. But as you're climbing down, the door to the north opens. And hang on, let me just remove that. And emerging from it is a man in a wizard's hat. And let me show you a handout for this fellow. But one of the things that you will find as you... hang on, let me get that. I believe there's a handout for him. Okay. Emerging from this room and flanked behind him are these 2 individuals. Actually, you know what? Let me not show you that right away because it's unfortunate that they have the title there. Okay, no, hang on here. Let me, yeah, okay. So what you see is a man, bearded man in a wizard's hat, fancy robes, flanked by someone that is clearly an undead. Incidentally, I think, Mara, just as you landed in this room, only then when you were, like, on this floor, suddenly pinged, like, oh, there's an undead in there. But coming out of this room, what's notable about this individual, who's clearly dressed like a wizard, is not so much just that he's dressed like a wizard, as much as the fact that this is the wizard you saw burned at the stake in East Haven. It is obviously the same guy.
Oh wow!
And so he comes in and just says, "Welcome. I don't know why you're here, but I'm so glad that you are. Please, do not be afraid. I mean you no harm at all. And the frightening appearance of my companion aside, he will not do anything unless I instruct him to do. And I actually need your help." And he comes into the room and he's looking around at you, and he's just got this big beaming smile until he turns around and then he sees Valine, and then there's a moment where he's just frozen. Then he turns his back to you for a moment and he's just turns back around. "Well, hello, Valine." And she's just like, "Dazan, I'm surprised to meet you here."
Wait! Time out. Hold. That cannot be Dizzy. He was burned alive.
So there, I want to describe the progression as you said that sentence, okay? Because as you're saying, that cannot be Dazan, and in fact, in response to what she said, he was saying, "Oh, I can explain that. Actually, and then you say, "He was burned alive," and he's like, "Oh. Well, that would explain some things. That's disappointing. Okay. All right. All right. I can work with this. This is fine. Let me explain. I technically am not Dazan. I am what's known as a simulacrum of Dazan. And Valine is just like, fine. She just like rolls her eyes, but she's clearly like disgusted with this revelation. And he says, I am sort of a magical duplicate that Dazan created. I am very much like him, except technically speaking, not actually alive. So, but this is actually why I need all of your help. And I would be happy to tell you everything I know and help you in any way I can if you can just do a little favor for me.
And what would that favor be?
Well, I'll tell you. There is in this tower a remarkable device powered by ancient Netherese magics that can take illusions or conjured things and make them real. But it has a sort of safeguard that requires a living creature to operate it. And apparently I don't qualify, and my buddy over there is undead, so he doesn't count either. And so if one of you could operate the machine and make me into a real boy, I would be so appreciative.
Why would we let something like this out into the world?
Well,
Well, I mean, if its magic works, he would not. It would not be something like this. It would be an actual
This is
person.
Yes,
unnatural.
exactly.
We should not have anything to do with this.
I am a conjured entity, but especially if my creator is dead, then there's a vacancy, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yes?
yeah,
And
but-
so if you use the device, I will no longer be a conjured construct. I will be a human man, just like,
But-
well,
but here's the
just like
rub.
you,
But
Rowan.
here's the rub.
Or he
They
doesn't say Rowan.
executed the person you look like.
Well,
So if you
well,
go
I
back to
suspect that is so. Let me. I am not technically designed as mentioned, right?
Yes.
I know because I was created from him that he did have the intention to kill the poor adventurers who brought us here. I suspect that he did that, and that might be why they burned him at the stake. Am I right?
That is definitely what
That
burned
is.
him at the
That's,
stake.
So-
that's exactly what happened.
If I may suggest a way of thinking about this, there was a branch point in time where the original design made a horrible mistake that cost him his life. Tragic. But I'm not him. I'm not that guy. I didn't do that.
But think of it this way. If we turn you into a real man, you would still look like Dazan. Now come back from the dead after betraying adventurers and being burned to the stake. So you would be post-hastily taken back to be burned.
Well,
at the stake.
how about this? That my suggestion would be that I would just never go back there.
And where would you
and-
go?
Well, so that would be a good question, and I would say, I suspect that you're here. He side eyes to Valine, who is actually, I think, as you glance over to Valine, she's trying really hard to keep that like stern, taciturn expression, but there's a little bit of just like the ends of her mouth just raising just a little bit. She's just like,
Meanwhile, Mara's got her arms crossed, frowning. She does not want anything to do with any of this.
yeah. And so he's just saying, so my guess is that you and Valine are looking for Itrin, yes, the Netherese city? Well, I could help with that. Or if you're not into that, if you and you know, I'm getting a vibe. And also, honestly, again, hi Valine. I'm so glad that you're still doing okay. If you don't want my help, that's fine. I will leave and never trouble you again.
Valine,
Colleen, you look like you have an opinion.
yeah, I was definitely going to ask you. I mean, obviously this isn't Dazan, but it
Yeah.
looks like Dazan. And
Well, so
do you?
this may come across as somewhat unfeeling. So I want you all to just give me the benefit of the doubt for just a moment. When I say that my emotion right now is that when I heard that Dazan had gotten himself burned at the stake, I found that tremendously funny, and only wished that he could be present for me to laugh at him.
And here you are.
And here he is.
He is.
So, well done, Dazan. You done screwed up.
I'm going to assume that maybe he made this construct to be a stand-in for such a thing, such as his execution and/or imprisonment, and he just so happened didn't make it that far.
As a matter of fact, yes. I mean, I was as an assistant of sorts to the original Dazan, but I was to stay here to guard the place, so to speak, while he went back to 10 Towns for supplies, which obviously didn't go well. But like I said, this is something where I am a wizard and a scholar, and I am, if nothing, if not a student of history. And if the history of Dazan, the original, is that he got himself burned at the stake by going back to 10 Towns, I will never do that.
Well, my thing is, you said that you all were a part of the Arcane Brotherhood, Valine. I mean, obviously, this isn't the backstabbing, untrustworthy Dazan. It's this one. This gentleman here seems to be very forthwith and forthcoming. I mean,
Well, it's also in his best interest to tell the truth at this point.
Well,
Yeah.
listen, I understand why you might have hesitations, but let me put it this way. Do people not deserve a second chance? Like, the original Dazan may have done things, but for example, if you were considering a course of action, and you are granted a vision of the future that would show you how horrible that turned out, and you made a decision to not take that course of action as a result of that foreknowledge, how is that different than me discovering that actions that I would have intended to take turned out so horribly, and now I can learn from that example and be better? And
Because that is not how time works.
Here's the
Not how
issue.
real life events work. You should not be here.
well,
It's the-
mm.
You
He
mentioned
is here. He is here, though. I mean, that part cannot be undone.
yes, and
He
and
is
he
here.
does, and he is sentient. So that means he does have a will and thought of his own, and I would say a desire not to die or be burned at the stake for his creator's mistakes.
Incidentally, now that he is revealed as a simulacrum, I'll go ahead and show you this handout, which I didn't want to show you because it says Dazan's simulacrum. But yeah, so and then so at this point, I think this undead creature is kind of like peeking around through the doorway because it's a little bit like, what's going on out there? I'm hearing half of a conversation. He doesn't say that. I'm just saying he's leaning through. But as he does that, you know, the Dazan kind of like, no, get back. It's not there. It's not the right audience.
Well, the issue I'm having is, you mentioned intending to do. The fact that what Dazan did, if you would still do that,
Well, but I
mean-
wouldn't, right? That's what I'm saying.
you wouldn't
Okay.
have lured adventurers here to have them and have them kill.
Well, I wouldn't, especially not now. Because I've learned I'm better than the original design could have ever been. Assuming you help me out.
Well, what would I know?
Marcher
What
is
would I
going to
know
just
about?
kind of lean back against the wall and
Okay.
cross his arms, and and he's kind of has a slightly amused look on his face.
What would Wilfred know about simulacrums?
Make an Arcana check.
24.
That's pretty good. So let me. I will say with a 24, you would certainly know. Like, you can look up that spell, the simulacrum spell, which I will read a bit about for the benefit of everyone else. But I will essentially say you would know everything that's there. It's a pretty powerful spell. It's a 7th level spell that essentially takes and creates out of ice and snow and shadow a conjured duplicate of yourself when you cast it. The difference being the double is very much like you in almost every way, except fewer hit points, and they cannot recover spell slots. They can cast the spells that you can cast, but they can't ever get spell slots back.
Huh.
And if they are killed, they just turn back into, snow and slush. But if what he's saying is true, like, he thinks that whatever is further down in this tower, he thinks could make him, real and not this conjured construct.
I think it's at least worth looking into.
Well, Valine is saying, I'm definitely interested in seeing what that thing is, at the very least.
Yes, let's go and look. Let's go and look.
All right.
So,
are you headed straight down, or are you checking the rest of the room up here first?
I definitely don't. We want to look at the rest
Okay,
of the
sure.
rest of the room.
instead
So,
of a table or something, they were standing. He walked past that we saw.
there's a table in there, but it's not like there's not anything. So he actually, I think as you're starting to look around, he will actually say, so listen, I as part of what I'm saying, like, especially since it sounds like you would not want my help in accompanying you on an expedition, I could certainly offer you, not that you would need my permission to take it anyway, but certainly everything that I have found here so far. I have a few more books that I thought were useful, and there's this amulet, which I don't have any particular use for at the moment, but maybe you would, and
What does it do?
I believe that it is the control amulet for Shield Guardian, but the Shield Guardian is not present. You could use the amulet to find it, but it's not here, so it's not helpful to me. I don't want to leave the thing that could make me human behind. But maybe you, free to roam about at will.
Have you exhausted all of your spellcasting energy?
Not all of it, but some. I tried and failed to reach my creator, and now you've told me why. I wish I hadn't used all my 3rd level spell slots.
So have you found any other things besides this amulet in the books?
Well, I mostly did not poke around any more than I had already, because that was the instruction from my creator. And, when he was still around, I was kind of subservient to him, kind of by necessity, right? Because he controlled my fate. But now that he's gone, I can take his place. To answer your question, well, first of all, he's got 4 more books, which I will just put into that handout. There's Lost Scrolls of Sabriel, written in Elvish. This scholarly tome copies and analyzes fragments of 8 ancient scrolls left behind by a sun elf wizard who taught magic to the cloud giants of Astoria, a bygone empire that collapsed 40,000 years ago. And then from Shadow Substance, this speculative work discusses how one might harness the weave to turn an illusory object or creature into its real counterpart, with commentary and criticism from noteworthy Netherese illusionists. And then one called Here Lies the King. This elaborately plotted novel features an illusionist who uses magic to impersonate a prince, supplant a king, rule a fictional kingdom for 61 years, and then fake his own death. And then Ventatost, this book uses testimonials and conspiracy theories to piece together events leading up to the destruction of a Netherese city called Ventatost, which disintegrated as it flew over the forest of Commenthor nearly 2,000 years ago, before the fall of Ythryn. I'll put this in, add those to that list of books. And so he certainly like shows you all of those, and then just give me a moment to like what else he tells you. And he points through. And he says, just to tell you what I know, those tunnels were not. I didn't make those. Those were already there. And in fact, my theory is that the shield guardian to which this amulet belongs actually tunneled out for reasons unknown to me. But if it was in the tower and needed to get out, that it might well have been that construct that punched its way through the ceilings. In there, and he points through the broken hole in the wall, there is an altar to Mistrial, which is the incarnation of the god of magic before the current one, right? So that's exciting, right? Those are often places full of mystery, but I was commanded to leave it alone, which is frustrating. But now that we're all here, we can explore it together. Isn't that exciting? Also, lest you suspect that I wouldn't warn you, there is a basilisk down there. It crawled its way in through the tunnels looking for somewhere warm, I suspect, and I decided to not try to take it on by myself. But with a whole group of strong adventurers like you, I have no doubt you'll dispatch it easily.
What?
So, Mara, from what he's saying, this amulet can summon a protector. Would you be opposed to that? It's a construct. So it's not technically natural, but I don't think this one is as independent as our friend over here.
Valine says, a shield guardian is more like an animated suit of armor, but what it does with, it shares properties with the attuned creature, the one who has its control amulet, and shares damage with that creature. So if, for example, you were attuned and commanding this shield guardian and you were to be blasted, say, by a fireball, you would only take half the damage and the shield guardian would take the rest, and it can regenerate and repair itself. It can also be used to store spells sometimes. There's a couple of different versions, but certainly quite a valuable prize if it could be recovered. But again, it sounds like we don't know exactly where it is.
So to find it, we'd have to put that on, I guess?
Yes, you'd have to attune to the amulet.
Perhaps we should run an identify spell on it to make sure it is what we are told.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes,
I'll be happy to do so.
Yeah. So if you go ahead and cast your identify spell on it, you find that it is exactly that. It is a amulet for a shield guardian. What you realize is that the shield guardian itself, at some point in the time since the original tower fell, which was again like thousands of years ago, it deactivated. Could be reactivated, but it essentially just like went dormant, like into power save mode. The amulet, if you're attuned to it, will tell you in what direction and how far it is. So you could find it, but you would have to be within 10 feet of it to turn it back on. However, once it's reactivated, you could be any distance from it on the same plane and call it to you psychically.
Well, I think definitely something to keep on us, just for...
That sounds quite valuable.
Yeah, see how helpful I am already.
I mean, let's be honest. You can't take credit for that.
because we would have just.
Well,
taken
okay. How about this? Well, you don't. So I have recovered it for you. I've done that work already. Is the point, and I'm just handing it to you. You didn't have to find it. But here, let me pitch this as well. Okay. So, the device down there, like I said, I know why I want to use it. But you could use it to turn any illusion real. Cast an illusion spell and conjure a big pile of gold and then turn it into real gold. Make any illusion real. And I volunteer to be the first test subject. If you're wary of using it, use it on me first. I don't mind.
Well, that is very valiant of you. But what if this magical device has one use left?
Well, that's all the more reason that I would request, pretty please, that you use it on me first, because otherwise you're condemning me to death, essentially.
Well,
Not wrong.
There are things much worse than death.
Well, how about enduring forever, knowing the potential you once had, but no longer have, and unable to learn or to rest or recover, and knowing that you'll eventually just collapse into a pile of snow? That seems pretty bad. That's where I'm at right now, but you could help me.
And that does sound like a whole lot of mortal dread.
It sucks. It's really not good. I was hoping that my creator would come back and that maybe I could persuade him. Wouldn't it be great if you had another one of you? Isn't that fun? But, I mean, if he's not coming back, it sounds like so.
Well, I say first off, before we can make a decision on if we're going to do this for you or not, we'd have to get rid of that bastard.
Well, yeah, I would
Actually-
think so, yes.
real good questions. How much further down would it be?
Oh, just one more level.
Hmm.
Through the tunnel down there is just one more. That's the bottom or the top, depending on how you.
So we will want to go down there in as much of a rush as possible to catch it by surprise.
Or
I don't want to tell you what tactics you should use. You're the ones that have worked together, but that would certainly seem like a smart decision to me.
Well, perhaps. How about for now, you go into your room and stay there and let us talk ourselves.
Of course. And Valine, you know it was not my fault. We were just all different personalities. I get it. I hold you no ill will. I hope, isn't it funny? Yep, dumb old design got himself burned at the stake. Isn't that awful? But hey, come on. Don't talk them out of it, please. Okay, all right, I'll let you talk. All right, okay. Closes the door. And then I think you hear a little bit of a whispered conversation from the other side of the door. He's presumably talking to his undead servant. And Valine just kind of says, well, I want to see if the thing works. But, honestly, I will leave it to you. He's not coming with us. But, if you want to turn him back, that's fine with me. I guess I don't object.
Well, I figure at the very least, someone as powerful as him would have the ability to teleport once recovered.
Well, no, I mean, not necessarily. I don't think he does, in fact. I mean, that's a very powerful spell.
Not even via circle?
Well, hang on just a second. Let me look to see if he has that spell. Excuse me.
Oh.
I just mean, I don't off the top of my head have everything in his spell book memorized. Hang on, give me a second.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, if he was returned to his full thing, he does not have teleport or teleportation circle. It's not like just something that every wizard has.
Oh.
You have to take those spells.
Okay. I just, Wilfred was going under, like, you have the power to cast.
Well, okay, yeah, he can cast that spell. It doesn't mean he knows every 7th level spell.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like,
He does not know how to teleport. I don't know what else to tell you.
well,
That would have been really
Perhaps,
helpful if he did, honestly. We walked a long way.
yeah.
There's only one thing I'm really worried about with this machine. But I suppose we need to have a look at it first. So why don't we take care of that basilisk and then see what happens?
I think also before we go down there, and while he's not looking because he's being such a good boy, let's take a look at this altar of Mistrial too. Those are... that's unusual enough. I suspect there's something more to it.
All right, let's have a look.
Okay.
All right. So you kind of have to, you don't have to make a check for it, but you have to sort of step over the tunnel opening to get through the wall, the hole in the wall there.
Well, Wilfred will help anybody who feels like they need it.
Sure. So there's a stone altar is attached to the ceiling of the otherwise empty semicircular room. An 8-pointed star is carved into the eastern face of the altar. And so I think any of you with study in religion, especially after having him tell you what it is, recognize, oh yeah, that's definitely it. He was correct in his assessment of it. So the altar itself hangs 9 feet above the floor, meaning it would be 3 feet tall if the room were the right side up. And it merges seamlessly with the ceiling to which it's attached.
I think Mara, you're muted.
I wasn't talking, I was chewing.
Okay.
All right.
Well, look around, see if there's anything interesting.
Let's see.
Well, I mean, what I told you what was interesting is this altar that's
Okay.
hanging from the ceiling of this otherwise empty room.
So Mara will fly and go up to the thing.
Okay. Do you touch it?
No, I'm just gonna
Oh,
look
well,
at it.
so technically also it's brightly lit in here. It's not shadowy. So
Right. Oh,
I think you
then
can
I
only
can't
do
do-
your fly
never
thing
mind.
when it's dark.
We'll give you. I'll give you a lift up.
all right.
I'll spot you.
All right. So you boost up to the do you touch it? I mean, you're boosting up to it and doing what? That's my point. Is this like what
Just
are you
looking
doing?
to see if I
Okay.
can see any hidden compartments or
Uh-huh.
anything like that, or any inscriptions.
Make
maybe
an
in
investigation
Elvish
check.
or Undercommon.
Sure. Make an investigation check.
$11.
I mean, you don't see anything. Like it's a stone altar. It's got the 8-pointed star on it. It's melded in. There doesn't seem to be really any other features other than that 8-pointed star on it.
This is a terrible idea, and I touched the 8-pointed star.
Okay. As you do, it briefly lights up, and it gets warm, like pleasantly warm under your hand. And then there's a shimmer of light on the top of the altar. And you can make a dexterity saving throw to try to catch the flask that appears there.
Okay, I might actually have some luck with this. Hold
Yeah.
on. Dexterity saving throw.
Should have cast Mage Hand underneath it, like I wanted.
Yes! 20.
What?
I got a 20.
Oh, well,
That's
yes.
22.
You snag it easily, and so there's basically popping into existence from this shimmer of light is a stoppered flask filled with a luminous blue liquid that you now have in your hand. And after that, the star, goes dark again.
You can put me down now.
Okay.
I have a potion, and I have this thing. What language is it then? Can I read it?
There's no label.
No label.
Is it a welcome?
we'll
Valine casts Identify on it. Hang on, actually, let me confirm. I'm sure she has that spell, but let me guess. I guess make that official and not just guess. Believe it or not, she actually doesn't. She has Detect Magic, but not Identify. But since you had just cast Identify, she looks to you and says, Wilfred, care to tell us what the nature of this mysterious gift from Mistrial?
Yep, I'll do that. And was it just the potion?
Yes?
Okay.
Do you have some reason to think it was going to be more than that?
It sounded like
It was a plaque, so that's why I thought that there was a plaque that fell with the potion.
That's a flask.
Flask.
Oh, flask. I misheard. I apologize.
Yeah. So do you cast Identify?
Yep.
Okay. I guess you're doing it as a ritual, though, right? I mean, that's... Yeah, so that takes 10 minutes. So, I guess you start on that, and everyone else is doing what in the meantime? Just hanging out?
Yep.
Maybe Piccolo scout the
Okay,
below?
Yeah, you could send Piccolo down.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Oops. Nope, not me.
Yeah. Okay. Piccolo, you send down through the hole, and he sees the room, and he sees a basilisk in it. And as he's looking down at it and, meeting its eye, have Piccolo make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Okay.
You did not think this would happen?
Hold on. Let's see.
Well, it's a lesson you could learn from the familiar before you send one of you down there.
Yeah. All right.
Let's see. Pseudo Dragon has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects.
I'll say this counts. It's
Okay.
You would magically turn you to stone, so
Yeah.
advantage then, sure.
So Constitution. Thank God.
Well, I'm glad you have advantage. You mean, right?
Yes.
Okay.
18.
Yeah. So with an 18, Piccolo briefly starts to get kind of like stiffen, and a strange crust starts to form around its skin. But then he resists it, and he shakes it off, and he does not start to turn to stone. Although I would guess he probably does come back up to your level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very quickly. Okay, so the basilisk is actually looking at the exit too.
Or it wasn't necessarily sitting there just staring at it, but it looks like it might not easily be able to get back out. And when Pseudo Dragon flew down the tunnel, it looked up to see what that was. So,
Yep.
But what you caught a glimpse of down there is rusty tableware, shattered plates, and broken chairs lie scattered on the floor amid two tables, one overturned and one on its side. Crawling out from behind the tipped-over table is a hulking, 8-legged reptile with glowing eyes.
All right.
Wow.
So now that we have confirmed that there is in fact a basilisk down there, how do we want to do this? I was thinking that we could all jump down at once, and
Well, so if anyone wants to make a nature check, you might, if you have proficiency in nature, please.
I do.
I cannot roll.
So a 9 and a 5.
Christiana,
and a
I misread something. I misread my dexterity check.
Okay.
So I looked at it quickly and saw the 20, but it was a 2 and a 1. So no. I apologize.
It was a 2 and a 1 and not a 20? Okay.
I'm having a moment, so.
Well,
just
you know
saw
what?
his-
I don't. You know, it's frankly, it's more interesting if you saved it, and so well, it's fine.
Okay.
You know,
I
there's-
apologize. I just want
you felt just a tiniest moment of intervention from Seluna that you were about to drop it, but it's guided into your hand.
Next time, remind me to catch Mage Hand underneath those things.
Valine kind of points out, it's like, well, I guess this one didn't look like a container, but
Yeah.
But yeah, so Wilfred, you finish your identify ritual, and what you discover is that this is not a typical potion, but what it will actually do, it's a gift from the goddess of magic that will essentially, anyone who drinks it will then forever be able to cast the minor illusion cantrip.
How convenient.
Wow.
Anna.
You should drink that, Wilfred.
I will share this with everybody, and then like, so.
How many servings?
I look at Wilfred. Bottoms up, Hoss.
I think this one is yours.
You are the one who wants magic.
Okay, if everybody's in agreement, I'll go ahead and. Whoop. I assume it's just basically one.
Yeah, it's one. Yeah,
One dose.
yeah, one dose.
Yeah. I would, if there was more than one, I would gladly share. But, yeah.
You've been searching for magic this entire time. I feel like
Well,
this is...
and Valine kind of glances at the rest of you and says, well, and it's just as well, given I don't know if any of the rest of you have illusion magic. We are going to test and make illusions real, machine. It would be good if some of us was capable of creating illusions.
Yep. It's not part of my.
Well,
So, I drink it, probably feel warm and tingly inside, and then I create an illusion of the ring.
the signet ring, you mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
The signet ring.
You all recognize it from the time you saw it in the mirror, but it's, less at the bottom of a lake now.
You know, if that machine is real and works, we wouldn't have to go retrieve it necessarily.
I am all for that.
So, congratulations, Wilfred. You you have discovered illusion magic. Ta-da!
Yay!
Shall we proceed?
Yeah.
If we should descend.
How do we tackle this basilisk?
So,
I
who rolled? So only Rowan and Ale rolled for nature and both got low.
Yeah.
Okay.
9. Got a 9.
All right. So yeah, none of you have really.
I am proficient in nature. I could try.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Go ahead and make a roll.
Yeah.
You have to be able to do better than me. Do.
Okay. So 19.
Oh.
I'm reading
Oh,
it
yeah.
correctly this time.
Yeah. With a 19, you know that the petrifying gaze of a basilisk requires you to make eye contact with it. So if you avert your gaze, meaning deliberately don't look at it, obviously it's a little bit harder to fight something you're not looking at, but it can't turn you to stone if you don't meet its eyes.
What if we blindfold ourselves, or some of us blindfold and try to fight it?
Well, then you wouldn't mistakenly look at it, but I think that may be going a bit too far.
Yeah, but I feel like if we're going to attack it, you have to look at it.
Well, so the mechanical effect of it is on your turn, you can choose to avert your eyes. And if you do, then it can't make it do its effect on you, but you would be attacking at disadvantage.
I'm all for that. I can do that.
Yep, I can handle
Yeah.
it.
All right, so
All
what's
right.
the plan?
I have spirit guardians. They will fight for me.
I mean, yeah, so you guys tell me what you're doing.
I think we should all go down at once. We should avert our gaze and
How wide is the hole?
The hole is 5 feet wide.
Oh well, yeah. So that means we can only go down at one time, one at a time.
right, but if we are quick about it, we can be sure to have plenty of people there.
Yeah.
And assault it all at once.
Could I jump down the hole safely?
It's going to be a 12-foot drop, so it's not automatically safely, but I'd let you make an acrobatics check to try to land safely.
Yeah. And I think yeah.
You would be looking at a maximum of a 1d6 damage otherwise.
Okay.
Right. So I'm willing to try jumping down that hole too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's jump down.
Well, I'll go first, and if I don't break my legs, I will try to cast Entangle on it, or at least try to hamper it so you guys aren't in as much danger.
Okay.
All right.
So-
So how do we want to do this?
Hang on, I'm gonna go ahead. I've already added you all to the initiative tracker. Oops.
I think you can take Piccolo off. Let's just make life easy.
Okay.
Um,
And then hang on.
My initiative roll is 2.
All right. Go ahead. Here, I guess I'll put it in the. All right. So, but obviously, we only begin the initiative once one of you does something.
Right.
So is it a straight tunnel down?
Yeah. But you can't. You can't it looks like it has gone behind the little table from so you can't get eyes on it from
the hole.
from above.
That's good.
All right. Well, there's only one thing to do. Geronimo.
All right.
I'll go
Rowan
down.
jumps through.
Yep.
Make an acrobatics check for me.
Oh my goodness.
7. Yeah, I think you land a little funny, and you're gonna take 1d6 falling damage. Man. You know what? I shouldn't type those. You take 1 bludgeoning damage, and I will allow you to basically you do. Are you averting your eyes? Are you jump down? Are you deliberately looking at your feet or something?
Yeah, I would be looking at the ground on the way down. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so then you can try to make an attack at disadvantage if you like, because you know approximately where you think it was.
Okay.
Didn't you say entangling it?
Yeah,
So that's an area of effect.
Would I be able to cast that instead?
Yeah, you can cast Entangle for sure.
Okay, yeah. Then that's what I'll do, and I'll just do
And
it on
that's
that. Because you said it was behind the table.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
So-
would just do it on the table.
So let's see, and it's
Yeah.
a 20-foot.
20.
Yeah,
yeah.
so like that. Like this rectangle or this square I just put on there. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So it makes a saving throw. Is it strength?
Yep. DC 14.
All right. It gets a 7.
It is restrained.
All right.
what's that gonna do to the rest of us landing on top of it?
As long as you're not in that area, but it won't. It does.
It'll be difficult terrain.
It's just difficult terrain. Yeah. But
Okay.
because I was on him, he is now restrained.
Yeah.
Until
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is your turn, and so we're now in initiative. And the thing is, it's not surprised because it just saw a pseudo dragon fly back down and then go back up, and then you guys were having a whole conversation just above the hole leading right to that room, and so it does get its turn, and it's its turn now.
And it's wrapped in vines.
Yeah, it is wrapped in vines though, and so it is going to try to get out of the vines, and so it's going to make an athletics check to try to break out of the vines. And it rolled super low again, so 6. So it fails to get out of the vines.
Yay!
I
By the way,
mean,
that means-
it's relatively strong. It's just it rolled low twice, just so you guys know. But that's
Yeah.
its turn. So Iggy, your turn.
And by the
Okay.
way, this negates the disadvantage on attack, so it's just a straight out attack.
As long as
Yeah.
it's in.
As long as it stays
entangled.
restrained.
Yep. All right. So Geronimo, look out below.
Yeah. Well, I guess let me give you Rowan one opportunity. Are you moving out of the way?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'll move over. I'll move over here.
All right.
Is that another another table that's over there?
Yeah. But it's like it's upside down on the floor though, so it's like it's not cover or like you couldn't set things on it because it's
upside
sitting
down.
on its top on the floor, which would have been the ceiling. All right, but yeah, Iggy, you drop in and there's vines everywhere, and presumably you are looking at your feet unless you guys tell me different.
Yeah. No, I'm looking at my feet, and I'm going to back up to right here.
All right, you're sort of wading through those vines, but you're able to do so.
Yeah, and let's see. I want to cast Mind Spike.
Okay. What does that require?
It's a Wisdom saving throw.
Well, so hang on. Make sure with any of these spells that it doesn't say a target you can see.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is a target I can see.
Yeah, so
I
you can't
will-
do that if you're looking away from it. So you could do that if you choose to not avert your gaze.
Yeah, I'll try the Constitution saving throw.
Okay, so if you are not averting your gaze, you look up and you see its glowing eyes. Please make a Constitution saving throw.
And because Piccolo is riding around in my hood, I do have advantage.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, it's part of the magical resistance if he's within 10 feet of me.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Good. You do.
Nice.
Okay, thank God.
Uh huh. Well, that first one, yeah, would have failed, but the 18 does succeed. Yeah. So you are you do not begin turning to stone, and you cast Mind Spake, and it makes a Wisdom saving throw.
Yep, Wisdom saving throw DC 14.
It does not
If I could
succeed.
speak.
Does not
It's
succeed.
not su-
Wait. What were you just saying? Something about
I said
speaking?
I cannot speak.
Oh, okay.
My tongue is tripping over itself.
I
But
see.
he takes 5d8
Uh-huh.
psychic damage, and so that is 20 points of damage.
Yeah, that hurts it a lot. It squeals and snarls and hisses.
Right. My turn?
Yes, Marcher is next.
Okay. I jump down the hole.
It just occurred to me I should have made Iggy make an acrobatics check as they jumped down the hole.
I can go ahead and do that now.
Yes, please do.
And that says 16.
Okay, yeah, you land fine with no damage.
And
Marcher,
here's my acrobatics check is 16.
you also land fine with no damage.
Okay. And I will step out of the way. I am averting my gaze, but I am using a quickened true strike
Okay,
to give my advantage.
all right. So you would have
Restrained.
advantage because it's restrained. But
Right,
I think
and
actually, so I think though that with averting your gaze, like it technically has total cover behind the table from that angle.
Oh,
Yeah, the table.
Okay.
The table's up on its side.
all right.
I mean, from a
what-
different angle it wouldn't, but only just you moved to where you placed the table in between you.
You know what? I don't mind.
Okay.
I'm going to fire an ice spike at third level.
Okay.
If I can't see it, then there's no point in using the true strike.
Okay.
But I'm going to fire an ice spike next to it,
Okay.
so that it has to make a dexterity saving throw, and I'm casting at third level.
Okay. Well, it'll make that saving throw at disadvantage because it's restrained.
Right. And
Yeah,
does
and
it
it got
fail?
so it gets a 3.
And so
Right,
takes
it might
four-
automatically fail.
So it takes 4d6 cold damage.
All right.
18. That's a
Okay.
good roll.
Yeah.
I'm not going to re-roll any of those. Oh, and +2, just because to add insult to injury, because of my elemental affinity, I also get +2 on that. So it's 20.
Okay. So yeah, it takes another 2 damage. All right, yeah, it's pretty hurt. It's hissing in agony.
Okay, and that's my turn.
All right. Ale, you're next.
Yep, I'm going to go jump down the hole. Let's roll acrobatics.
Mhm.
That is a 10.
Okay.
So how much damage do I take?
You're gonna take. Actually, I think a 10. I'll say that's fine. You're fine. If it were farther, maybe that would be more. But
I found the one patch of ice and slipped.
yeah, that's how I broke my ankle in high school. All right, so you're fine. So you also rolled you rolled under a 10. You know. All right. So are you averting your eyes?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm moving to here, and I'm going to unleash my breath weapon on the
Okay.
spot where that where our friend the basilisk is. So he needs to make a DC 13 Constitution saving throw.
Is it Constitution?
It is Con DC 13, half damage on success. Yep.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought it was Dex, but if not, then Constitution.
I think it's Dex for different
Yeah,
types
I
of
know,
damage.
but okay. So he got a 15.
Okay, so he succeeds, so he takes half damage of this. So he will take 4 damage from the
Okay.
cold.
All right.
And so that is my turn.
All right.
You can do that with your eyes closed. Well,
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Yes, I could. I can only do it once, but you know.
Oh yeah, that's
All right,
that's the way
Wilfred,
to do
you're
it.
up.
Okay, Geronimo. Natural 20 on
Okay.
the acrobatics.
Superhero pose. Boom.
you hear Deadpool? Watch as much as superhero pose. Watch.
And I'm gonna move up here, move over here, averting my gaze,
Mm-hmm.
and swinging for 15.
A 15, I think, does hit. 15 just hits.
Okay, for 6 damage.
All right. It is not completely dead, but it is extremely wounded.
Well, let's try that again.
Mm-hmm.
15 again
All right. Yeah. So you hit it again.
for 5.
How do you finish off this basilisk?
Looking away, I just smash it right between the eyes, and that's just go.
Yeah. Just crunch. Yeah.
Yep.
Crunch, sploot. Yeah.
Teamwork.
Yeah.
Yay!
The basilisk is dead.
Yay!
Question.
Ding dong, the basilisk's dead.
Do you need me to jump down there? It sounds like he died.
Yeah, he definitely died.
Definitely dead.
Valine is calling down and saying, so, did you all intend to not have a rope going down? I know you are all in a hurry, but perhaps before I jump down and strand myself with all of you, someone could give me a rope and I could affix it up here, or...
Yeah, who has a rope left over?
Because you're all standing there looking 12 feet up at the hole that you just came
I
through.
think
Like,
Wilfred- Wilfred does so.
Wilfred does, so
Okay.
Piccolo will take one end and pull it up to Valine.
Yeah. Okay, so no difficulty then. You now have a rope there as well. I think at some point as you're sort of finishing with that, there's a little bit of, muffled through the door is Desan going, everything still okay? I'm waiting, but let me know. I can help. All right.
The
Do you let
basilisk
go
is
of the
dead.
entangle, I assume?
Say what?
Rowan, you let go of the entangle?
Yes. And I have a question. If through a combination of nature and survival, Could I acquire poison from this basilisk?
Technically, the basilisk is not poisonous, does not have venom, but its blood can be used to create potions that restore petrification.
Ooh.
So you could recover some of that if you have vials to put it in.
I technically have one vial.
You can have a vial of basilisk blood if you want.
Cool.
I probably would have the remaining the flask from that minor illusion potion.
Sure.
So here, fill that up, and I'll let Rowan have that because he seems like
All right.
he'd be more.
You now have a vial and a flask of basilisk blood.
Oh, nice.
All right, so you are currently in this room now. As mentioned, rusty tableware, shattered plates, broken chairs lie scattered on the floor amid two tables, one overturned, one on its side. No longer is there a living basilisk, but there is still a dead one with a smooshed head. So there is a doorway to the south.
Well, let us have a look around for this machine.
So into the hallway, there is a doorway to the east, which you suspect is still just that spiral staircase that is impassable, but another one to the north and south.
South
All right.
first.
Okay, so in that room, the bed in this room is upside down on the floor. It's rotted blankets peeking out from underneath the disintegrating mattress. Mounted to the north wall is a tall, cracked mirror in a stone frame that merges seamlessly with the surrounding wall. Lying underneath two dirt-clogged windows is a partially crumbled, rime-covered human skeleton in the tattered shreds of a nightgown.
Yeah, this was a nightmare for this fellow.
No bones about it.
Looks like it was just there was just a nightgown on the person, not nothing else interesting.
I mean, you could like dig around and look. You don't see anything else on like just from standing there looking down at it.
Sure,
But it was under the bed.
I'll look around.
And I'll search the bed.
Yeah. Well, so you're looking around, like you are, to use a phrase, disturbing the remains?
Million deaths.
Sure,
and
why
not
not?
for- not
Okay.
for-
Well, I'm
like-
just saying. I'm trying to make it clear, like it's like it's under debris. So if you want to see more of it, you would have to like dig it out. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and do that.
All right. As you do that, a tiny little mote of light rises up out of it, and we're rolling initiative again.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
No.
I assume that Valine and I have gotten down there.
Well, I don't know. You guys tell me what you're doing. Like they're exploring this room, and this happens. I don't know where you guys are.
I will have gone down there because I don't want to be up top.
Oh
with
no,
them.
I assume you went down to the next level. Yeah, you're on that level,
Yeah.
but I don't know if you went into that room with them.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to assume that you you can roll new initiatives if you like. Make sure you update. Make sure that the little tracker reflects your current.
Yep. Updated.
Mine is 18.
Okay. No. 18. Okay. Has everyone got it updated?
Iggy, it doesn't look like yours updated. Oh,
Yeah,
there
no,
it goes.
it did, but I didn't add in the initiative bonus.
Okay. Is everybody got it
so it's
updated?
fixed.
Please.
Rowan
tell me.
needs to roll initiative.
Yep, he just got back.
Okay. Is everyone rolled initiative? Yes.
Oh, combat. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I poked something.
Okay. So, all right. Has everybody else rolled initiative and Rowan's doing it now? Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So everyone good. Okay. Doesn't usually need to take 3 minutes to roll initiative. All right, it's fine. We're good. Okay, the Will-o'-the-Wisp gets to go first, though, and it is right there by you, Wilfred. And you are the one that...
These things again.
Yeah.
Bit.
So what it has it is going to do is to shock you, or it's going to get a 13 in its attempt anyway.
It's like, whoa!
And you hear a tiny little ethereal voice just say, "Who are you? Get out of my home!" All right, Rowan, you're up, but I think you just hear from the other room Wilfred going, "Whoa!"
Is everything okay?
Well, so
I put something.
I'm gonna move through my compatriots and into the room.
all right.
Here, let's I got it. Is this what does this look like? Is this
It's a softball-sized mote of light floating in the room, kind of bobbing around.
Okay. Then I will.
It's like it's like an angry "Hey, listen, fairy."
Oh no.
Navi?
Then as a bonus action, I will cast Ensnaring Strike.
Okay.
At first level.
So I think you have to hit first, right? You have to
Yeah.
So make your attack roll first.
There it is. And it is a. Where's my roll? Oh, there it is. I'm not gonna. Since Wolford seems to be in danger, I'm not gonna sharpshooter this thing.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Are you doing something though? How about an attack roll?
Yep.
All right. All right. Okay.
Center
25
mass
does hit,
of
yeah.
the Wisp.
It does hit. Yeah. So go ahead and roll damage. Yeah.
Ah, 2 points.
All right. Well, no, it looks like you got a 1d8 plus 1 roll in before that one, which was an 8.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it must have rolled twice because it was lagging a little bit.
Right, but it does look like it only takes half of that because it is ethereal and ghost-like.
But, so then I'm guessing it doesn't have to make a saving?
And the vines start to wrap around it and seem to just pass right through it. It is immune to being restrained.
Okay, then I will go for a second shot.
Mm-hmm.
But this time I will try sharpshooter. Because why not?
Sure.
Because you'll miss.
Well, let's see.
16.
A 16 does not hit. It's a tiny floating little blob of light.
If you had shot for,
Yeah. So
not
unfortunately,
sure what
you
you'd
missed.
aim at
there.
with a sharpshooter, but yeah, okay.
All right, Mara, what are you doing? You're like in the other room, but you hear this going down, and Rowan suddenly rushed out.
I immediately cast Spirit Guardians and then go into the room.
Okay. So Spirit Guardians is what, a 15-foot radius from you?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we're about to see balls of light fight each other.
All right. So read to me how the Spirit Guardians works again.
You call forth Spirit Guardians to protect you. They flit around you in a distance of 15 feet for the duration. If you are good or neutral, they're spectral, blah, blah, blah. When you cast this spell, you designate any number of creatures you can see unaffected by it.
Oh, so that means, so it says when you cast it, you can designate creatures that you can see unaffected by it, which
Right.
means that anyone that you couldn't see when you cast it, you would not be exempt. But I will allow, if you want to retcon that you didn't cast it until you got in the room, you can do what I think you
Yeah.
intended.
We'll do it that way.
All right. So, but then what does it take damage right now? What is it? What is on its turn? Or?
An affected creature's speed is halved
Okay.
when they're in the area, and they must make a wisdom saving throw at this. Hang on. And when the creature enters the area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn
Okay.
there, it must make a wisdom saving throw.
That's what I needed. So on its turn, that'll happen. So in the meantime, you've moved in and you've got these things floating around, but it won't affect it until its turn.
And I did say my whole, in the name of the moon I shall punish you, but it was really weak.
There you go.
Because
You're like,
what I'm
you're in
looking
a
at-
hurry and you're having to keep like interrupt with, excuse me, pardon me, I'm shoving through this narrow hallway. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Wilfred. This thing tried to zap you.
Well,
And
I'm
then
going.
it's shouting at you in a ghostly voice.
Got some bad news for you. And swing with the hammer.
All right.
Ah, for a natural 19, which is a critical hit for me,
Nice.
being a champion fighter.
Mm-hmm.
For max damage.
Okay,
A
good.
total of 19.
Okay, but non-magical.
Non-magical.
Yeah.
But still.
Still pretty good. Yeah, so you smack it like a softball with the hammer, and it kind of sort of jostles and bobs around, but it's still up.
So I'm going to swing again.
Mm-hmm.
For 23.
23 does hit.
11 damage.
Okay.
Ouch.
All right, not quite done.
But that's my turn.
Okay. All right, Iggy. You're muted, Lee.
Not that much space in there.
Nope.
I'm
Nope.
kind of inclined to think that you guys have this. So I'm going to check out this.
We
You're
lost
muted
your
again.
audio again, Lee.
Yeah, scream if somebody is mortally wounded or something. But
Okay, you're just moving on to exploring new rooms. All right.
yeah, there's no room.
Okay, well, you also just like, I mean, theoretically, you could be exposing yourself to new dangers with it, with like, all right.
Yeah.
Prone to do.
All right, so yes, as you look in that room, the walls of this chamber are inscribed with interconnected runes and marred with cracks. What is now the ceiling bears similar inscriptions that swirl inward, converging around a golden crystal disc 5 feet in diameter. That's what happens on your turn, because you're introducing new possible dangers instead of helping your friends, which is fine. Ale.
I
Okay.
got this. That's easy.
Yeah.
Okay, moving into the room here.
Excuse me, pardon
Then
me.
I'm not muted, am I? No.
No, I'm just saying,
Okay.
excuse me, pardon me, because you're like shoving
Oh.
past your friends in a narrow hallway.
Yep.
Yeah.
The big dragonborn is pushing past.
Yeah.
Sees the will-o-wisp size, because we fought will-o-wisp before, they're no fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use as a bonus action Vow of Enmity. Since I didn't get to use it on the basilisk, I'll use it on this thing.
Uh-huh.
So I will choose a creature I can see within 10 feet and gain advantage on attack rolls against it for 1 minute,
Okay.
or until it drops to 0 hills at fully conscious, and then I will proceed to try to whack it with my sword.
All right. 25.
So that is a 25.
Mm-hmm. That, yeah.
That is 8 damage.
Yeah.
Of
So
course, it's
it,
gonna be less.
it is halved. It is still up.
I get another
but
attack.
it
Let's
is
try that again.
Sparking and buzzing angrily. Yeah, you hit it again.
That is a 20. That is a 26.
Yeah. It only had 2 hit points, so it just like dissipates and pops like a light bulb going out when you
See, you had
slash
this.
through it.
Easy.
And
Let's
so,
just hope for
and now Mara, you still have Spirit Guardians up.
Sorry, Mara.
Oh. All right.
Let's just hope there's
I
no
will simply just have these, shooting stars around me for the next minute. Let's find something else to fight, just in case.
All right.
I guess
So
running into
as you are, now searching once again through some of the debris, you actually do discover that in addition to the mirror that's mounted on the wall, you find that there is a treasure chest behind the bed. However, you find it by stubbing your toe on it because it is an invisible treasure chest.
Ow. Okay, that. Huh. That's odd.
Mm-hmm.
How big of a treasure chest is it?
You feel it like you're sort of getting a sense of it. It is. Hang on. Feels like an obvious thing that it would be.
Is it bolted to the ceiling?
No, hang on. Give me a second. It is. Why does it not say how freaking big it is? So it is. It is the size that would make it weigh 25 pounds. So I'm guessing it's something like maybe 1 foot, 1 cubic foot, or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
No, so not 1 cubic foot, but like one. I guess it is 1 foot cubed.
Yeah.
Yes. So the interior space is 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot. That's the interior, and then the outside is a little bigger than that.
Okay.
It does
Oh.
seem to be locked. You can feel that there's a lock in it, but you can't see the lock because it's invisible.
Oh. Yeah. Let's see. Valine, I think I have something that might be worth dispelling. An invisible chest of some form.
So,
Oh,
I
I
don't
can just hold on to it for now.
all right. I don't actually have dispel magic prepared.
Okay. Like I said, we can hold on to it.
All right. You're not going to try to open it or anything?
Well, I don't know how to unlock a lock without it. Well, Mara, that maybe try that key again. I can find. Maybe.
She's looking around at the rest of you and just saying, "There's not one of you knows how to use thieves' tools? What kind of adventuring party are you?"
One without a
Kinda-
rogue.
I mean, up until recently, we didn't have a healer.
Yeah.
Didn't have a regular healer all day.
All right. So if no one has thieves' tools, then we're moving on, I guess. You're
Moving
carrying this 25-pound invisible treasure chest with you?
Yep.
All right. So the rest of you move into the room where Iggy is, and as mentioned, the walls of this chamber are inscribed with interconnected runes and marred with cracks. What is now the ceiling bears similar inscriptions that swirl inward, converging around a golden crystal disc 5 feet in diameter. Valine is in there, obviously looking at it as well. She is fascinated. She's inspecting it closely. And then as more of you are stepping a little further into the room, an illusory figure appears upside down in the far corner of the room, standing on the ceiling. It appears to be the same long-faced human wizard depicted in the statues just inside the spire's entrance. It begins speaking in a strange, possibly forgotten language. And Valine immediately casts a spell, and she then begins listening to it like she can understand it.
Comprehend languages.
Yeah. She translates for you. She's saying, it says, "Behold my masterpiece. Here can illusions be made real, shadows become substance. Create your illusion, let it stand atop the crystal disc, and watch my rune chamber do its work." Well, I mean, that bears out what Dazan's simulacrum was saying. And, excitingly, it was speaking Loros, which is the ancient language favored by the wizards of Netheril. Now, of course, if I had Professor Scant, he could just translate for us. We wouldn't have to use a spell for it, but we make do.
Yep.
So did we want to try a test run with your illusion of a ring?
Well, anyone
Go
who
for
would
it.
like to can make an Arcana check to sort of inspect the workings of it, and you can do so with advantage because Valine is certainly helping.
Yeah. I'm the dumb one in the party. That's not me.
Nope. Oh,
14.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Advantage. 23.
Okay.
Thank you for advantage.
Sure.
There you go.
So I guess what you figure out together with Valine's help is that basically what Dazan said and what the voice seemed to say seems to be pretty much exactly right on, which is to say that if you create an illusion on the golden crystal disc and then activate it with a life spark is required. A life spark is needed to turn in. So, excuse me. When you need to activate it with a creature with a life spark is needed. It can't produce magic items, animated objects, constructs, or undead, but pretty much anything else that you create an illusion of, it will make it real. At least that's what it's designed to do. Actually, and you discover that, but what you also realize is that the cracks in the walls have damaged enough of the runes to compromise the room's magic, which means that it might not work exactly 100% right. Hard to know. It would be unpredictable.
Oh,
So probably trying with an inanimate object would be better than trying it with the simulacrum of a person.
I would wonder, given that a person's life force was involved, whether there is a danger of it doing damage to the person who activates it.
Valine says, I don't believe that's the case. I understand your desire for caution, but my impression based on the study of it is that it's more a matter of making sure that it is not initiated by accident or anything of that nature. It's just sort of a safety feature.
All right.
Is
well,
it gonna be a problem that we can't actually put anything on the disc because it's upside down?
She says, don't be silly. If you create an illusion, the illusion can be on the ceiling.
Okay. I'm not an illusionist, so that is
So-
excellent
so we need to-
information.
I think you
Does it-
hear from coming, like echoing down the hallway, you hear Dazan saying, how's it going down there? Need any help?
So we're going to need to take our simulacrum friend over there and kind of alley-oop him up into the ceiling.
We'll
Yep.
figure it out. Well, I'm gonna go. Hi.
I
Oh.
think actually you guys hear like a thud that sounds like perhaps a wizard trying to climb down a rope and then falling
Right.
part of the rest of the way
As it
down.
comes down, I say, no, we are all dead. We are all ghosts now. You should not come down here.
Well, now I can see that's not true. I'm just trying to I'm trying to be helpful. I have made my case to you as honestly and sincerely as I can, and I am asking for your help. This is a magic thing that I've told you what to expect, and I've shared with you what I have already learned about it, and this is an amazing discovery, and all I'm asking is that you help me out by trying it on me.
I asked,
I
I asked,
mean,
can you fly?
What?
I'm not.
Oh no! Watch this. And if you allow him, he hurries and pushes himself into the room, and then as he stands underneath with the where the disc is, it begins to glow. See, I don't have to touch it.
Well,
Oh,
Uh-huh.
I have no opinion either way. If you want to help him, then help him. But
well, if you really wish to try, let me just first warn you: the cracks across these runes have damaged it.
You know what? I will risk it.
You could be made real and then immediately explode.
Or I could stay like I am and die as an unlearning pile of slush. How about that? Does that sound better?
Oh,
I would like to take the risk. Please help.
I mean, he's
I-
been honest. He's been honest with us since the beginning, it seems. So I'm not against it.
If Aule will give me a boost up,
will-
tell me where I need to touch this thing.
You hear a pair of boots landing in the other room too that you suspect might be the undead assistant following.
Yeah.
I will boost Biggie.
Okay.
All right. What do I need to touch to
So
turn it on?
technically speaking,
I
um,
think you probably just touch the wall.
yeah, like there's not like a button to push. It's more that like a creature in there has to sort of just focus on it and like will it
Yeah.
to do its thing.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
So theoretically, really, any of you in the room could do it.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and turn it on.
Okay. So, as Dazan Simulacrum excitedly stands beneath the disc, and you concentrate on it and go to activate it, Iggy, please roll percentile dice for me.
oh no. Oh no.
Hold on. Let me not do it that way. Let me do it. $82.
82. Okay. Yeah, as he stands there, he is like lifts up off the ground for just a little bit, and like he's engulfed in this golden light, and it's swirling around him. It's clearly having some effect. He just has this ecstatic expression on his face, and then he sets back down, and he's sort of feeling himself. I think it worked. I think it worked. Oh my God! I think it worked. I feel different. I think it worked. Thank you so much. Oh my God! Thank you so much.
Well,
I mean,
let's-
I think would need to rest, make sure I can get my
Let's
spell
check
slots
it.
back. But
Well,
oh
let's
my gosh,
check-
I think it
let's
worked.
check. So I go up to him and I pull out a dart from my kit and I prick his finger.
Oh no, I'm
No.
pretty sure he would bleed when he was the simulacrum too.
Yeah.
They're designed to be deceptive.
Yeah. So I think as you're going to to prick his finger, I think he says that too, which is it's like, oh well, that wouldn't test it, but like I can feel it. I can feel that I'm different.
What you
it
need to
worked.
do is take some blood and put it in a little dish and then apply a hot wire. That'll tell you.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with that particular magical experiment, but you might be right. But I cannot thank you enough. I think I would probably, before venturing forth, I would plan to get a long rest here so that because I am not rested as I am. My expended spell slots are still expended, but if I'm right, then once I get a good night's sleep, I'll have all my power back. And then as you like, will either stay and accompany you, and as he kind of says that, Valine is just arms folded. Like, mm-mm.
I think
Mara
your
is-
best.
For once, Mara is mirroring that.
Yeah.
Shake of the
Yes.
head.
Yeah,
Given
get
your
the-
history with adventuring parties, I think we'll pass on that one.
And for
Yeah,
those
what-
two
get
to
the-
be in agreement, I definitely have to go with the no.
Totally
Oh, yeah.
fair. Like,
No.
is it okay with you if I get a night's sleep here before I move on? I mean, if you insist, I'll leave sooner, but
Yeah,
come on.
I
I
think
let me
no.
sleep here.
sleep.
What am I gonna do, right? I'm gonna be sleeping.
If there's nothing further down, I do believe, Valine, our investigation of this place has been concluded. So I will perhaps maybe when you get your rest, maybe there is the remnants of bedroom just across the hallway.
Who are you talking to?
Dazan.
Other guy,
Zan?
Is
Yeah.
on.
Zan,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See, I thought you said Valine, and then the sentence didn't make sense.
Well,
I mean, like he's like, oh no, I mean, I'm set. You don't need to worry about me. I owe you all my life. Thank you. Whatever works for you is fine with me. I am just glad to not be a soulless construct of ice and snow anymore. Thanks. And then Valine is just kind of like, idiot. And he's just, well, notwithstanding, thank you everyone else. I'm moving. And then he leaves the room, and then you hear him go into the hallway, and he's like, "Crintus, it worked!" And he's like jumping up and down next to his undead friend, and it's
I have never heard joy expressed by an undead.
I have a very strong impulse that I am withholding. That I would really like to do turn undead on that thing.
What? I mean, you tell me.
What? That's up to you.
I'm deleting the token just because now that he has been transformed, I have a different token for him. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I think he's, he's happy enough, and he's pleased to stay out of your way. But Valine is just saying, while we're here, we certainly could try creating a few more things. I'm sure there's useful things that could be conjured.
Well, I
Ring.
had the fleeting thought of some.
Put a ring on it.
Put a ring on it.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do the illusion of the ring,
Okay.
and then
And so you can conjure it so that it's like up on the
Yeah.
disc, because like it's not really subject to gravity after all, right?
I'll do that.
Right. So you create the illusion of the
Wait,
signet ring.
before you do that, can you make the illusion look like enough for everyone?
No, it's just a ring.
Right,
It's
but
That's
could
a
you make
signet
enough
ring.
rings? Like,
No, he's trying to make a
He's trying to
signet
make-
ring.
Yeah, he's trying to
that
make
he's-
it.
So this is not the ring of warmth that he gave you. It's his
Understood.
father's signet ring.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently we couldn't make magical items with this anyway.
Yeah, if it could duplicate a magical item, that'd be.
Bags of holding for everybody!
All right. So you conjure the illusion up there, and the disc glows, and you know that you just have to sort of concentrate and will it to activate. And and if you do that, then please go ahead and roll percentile dice for me.
Let's see.
So, guys,
84.
84.
Yep.
The ring suddenly, instead of hovering up where you had the illusion, suddenly goes. You feel the spell kind of go poof, and then the ring drops. You can try to catch it, I suppose, if you want. Dexterity saving throw.
Three.
All
I
right.
probably
Yeah,
about.
you make a wild
3 inches
swing
to
for
the
it
left.
because you're a little surprised, maybe, but it goes donk 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 on the floor.
I'll pick it up and look at it. It's like,
guys, we depending. Okay, so how big of something can we make? As long as it's
Well,
not-
your illusion spell is like a 5-foot cube, right?
I'll try and just make, basically illusions of boxes progressively bigger until it doesn't
Well,
work.
I mean, it's gonna fail sooner or later, so I wouldn't
Yeah.
be expecting it to keep working.
Yeah, I just creating illusions just bigger and bigger until the spell couldn't do it anymore.
No, it's gonna
Yes.
break before you get to the maximum.
Well, you're not using the machine. You're just testing.
No.
Like, well, I don't see any
oh.
reason to make a series of them. Why not just start by saying, "I make the biggest box that I can make." Why
Okay.
would you need to
Yeah.
make smaller ones first?
Well, it's just demonstrating
cube.
to the group.
Oh,
the,
sure. You're
limits
showing
of
off
spell.
your new toy, is what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Oh,
fair.
the reason I'm asking is because we could make boxes of supplies to help rebuild tin towns. Nails and things of that nature, and we've got the dog sleds that we could help get these back to town with. If there was an ability to make bigger illusions like wood or planks and things, we could use that to make them real.
Valine says, well, bear in mind that whatever you make here still has to be carried up through all those tunnels back to the surface.
Yeah.
But
Rope.
A decent size amount, a decent amount of nails could do some good.
Yeah, and
I think actually
They don't have
tools
to-
might be better than nails.
yeah, and I mean, we could tell the speaker of Brinchander, this is actually worth sending manpower out to.
Yeah, just need someone. Just a
cast
person with
illusions.
with the ability to cast illusions.
Yeah, and if they can cast bigger illusions, then they can basically conjure whatever they need. Heck, they could even conjure gold to pay to have supplies ferried up here.
Yeah.
I mean, enough gold will get anything moved.
Given that, probably best not to use it anymore.
Yeah.
Because we don't know when this thing is going to break.
Yeah.
Um,
Wilfred.
So do you want me to send a message to Brinchander?
I think actually, if we unless there's anything else we want to do here, perhaps we move on and
Yeah, I think a sending would be a good idea because we need to move on. We have other business to attend to.
Okay. So I will send another message to the speaker of Brinchander. Hello, Seeker Mara again. We found a very useful resource, and I don't know how best to describe the location.
Well,
Like,
I mean, that's a good question, but I don't have an answer for you.
You could tell her it's a magical device that makes.
But she has to
No,
get
no,
to the
no.
ruin.
Tell her that it's a tower to the northeast of Caer Konig.
How many hours did we travel?
Aspire.
Spire. That was 5. It was 5 hours
5 hours north of Caer Konig.
by
Northeast.
sled dog. Northeast of Caer
Yes.
Konig.
Okay.
By sled dog.
Okay, so it's Mara. 5 hours northeast of Caer Konig. There is a spire with a magical
Engine.
power that makes illusions real. Good resource.
All right, that is intriguing, but also terrifying. Is it safe to use? Thanks for letting us know, I guess.
And I will send one more sending because I have one more, and say we have cleared out the monsters here, so it should be safe. I have told no one else about this.
All right,
And-
I can perhaps send a scouting party. It doesn't require any specialized magical know-how, or
Okay, do I have to spend a 4th level spell? I have
well,
to spend
like, if you want to keep replying, I mean,
Yeah.
I think what you're trying to do is convey something incredibly complicated via
Yeah.
tweets.
Do it.
So okay, my last spell that I can do this with. Final message. Someone must be able to cast minor illusion and bring lots of rope and climbing gear.
Instructions will be provided on site.
Instructions will be provided.
Well, I think I can probably find someone with that spell. Thanks for letting us know. If it works as you say, that could be very useful.
That's it. I have no other higher level
Sure,
spells.
sure.
No,
So,
it's fine.
who was hanging out with Valine while that was happening?
I would. I mean, I'm just there, so I would be near the
Alright.
I guess.
You can make an insight check if you like.
Okay. And I'll turn to Wilfred and say, "You're the one that I know of that has, paper and pencil. Can you write out the instructions on how we got this thing to work,
Oh yeah, I will go ahead and do
and
that.
leave it here?"
21.
I think with a 21, she is, definitely not saying anything about it. But I think you can tell that she's a little bit concerned that all of your first impulse when you discover ancient magical secrets is to just share them with everybody and just tell the randos about it. And she's a little bit like, I don't know about that. But she doesn't say anything.
Kind of smirking. Well,
Yeah. I do have to. I do think that if it was something that would be a little that wouldn't be as immediately useful for so many people, so many people in need, we probably wouldn't spread it as much.
Well, I mean, bear in mind, she doesn't say anything. Rowan just gets that impression from looking at her face while Mara is doing those sendings.
I smirk and I look at her and say, yeah, I get it, but there's a lot of people in need and this could be a lot of help. Though we do seem to be far less self-serving of adventurers.
Well,
We are
I'm
not murder hobos.
It is up to you, of course, to decide how you want to proceed with these sorts of discoveries.
You don't know. Well, actually, do you have an idea of how long it'll survive usage? This thing it has been damaged.
I think that it is possible that it could have unpredictable outcomes every time you use it, and I don't know how long it might last. It is ancient magic, now damaged.
Yeah, and an arcane brotherhood of very intelligent magic-using people could be of great service to educate the populace and our leadership if they so happen to want to step out of the shadows.
Marcher laughs and starts climbing up to the next
Yeah,
level.
I think, Rowan, you get a benevolent but bemused, oh honey, expression.
I shrug and just go, you are quite knowledgeable and useful. It could help people.
They do not exist. They do not exist to help people.
It's
We've
more
seen
than
that.
It's not about existing to help others. It's that most people are not helpable with these sorts of things. It's as useful as it sounds like it is. The instant you allow the average person to just wander in and start playing with incredibly powerful, ancient, damaged magical artifacts, it seems to me that you're just asking for trouble. But
And
I leave it to you.
as I smile as I grab the ropes and start climbing up, I go, but you were taught magic. And if you spread that knowledge and education, would they be commoners at that point, or would they be educated and trained like you?
I am not the average person.
Then don't allow other people to be average, so you can look down on them.
Keep digging that hole.
I am not sure what you're trying to say here, Rowan. I am saying that in my experience, magic is not well wielded by the average person. And it's one thing to say, oh, just teach them. So why not just teach everyone all of your ranger skills? Why are you not teaching the average person in Bryn Shander how to track reindeer across the tundra right now? Why are you not doing that right now? Couldn't that be useful to those people? They need food after all, so why are you not teaching them everything you know right now?
If I could, I would. These skills are not excluded.
If you could, you would. But
Face it, Ron. She's got to.
I mean,
Come on, let's go. This is
And-
pointless.
Last thing I gonna do down here is basically, show Wilfred's going to show the detailed instructions, detailed but simple, including a thing that says unknown damage over time may cause unknown complications.
Okay.
Show that to Valine.
What you're showing that? What do you mean?
I'm going to basically show what I've written to Valine.
Oh, okay. You've written it like on paper.
Yeah, on paper.
Okay, so you show it to Valine, and she's saying, I mean, I suspect that will give, someone. I mean, I suppose it's helpful at least that it would take someone knowledgeable enough to be able to cast an illusion spell.
Yes.
But I mean, I am appreciative of all of your expertise. It is just a little bit of a culture clash. I come from a tradition that is not so forthcoming.
Yep. Well, we are learning about each other.
Are we also going to be sleeping here?
I think we'll probably sleep up top.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
And Mara follows Marcher up all the ropes and finds a corner to just meditate in, and will eventually put up a hut with whoever wants to share it.
Okay.
But
Yeah. So you all go back up to
not
the.
like it here, and she is making that known by not really interacting with anybody.
Sure. Okay, yeah. So everyone climbs back up out of the tower and does a hut on the surface.
yep.
Oh, did we gather all the stuff that the dude gave us? The books.
Well, the books and the shield amulet, yeah.
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 So reminder that in order to use the shield guardian amulet, you would have to attune to it. Someone would.
Yeah. And Wilfred will go ahead and tune to that unless someone else would like to have it.
No, that's fine.
I can't really
Okay.
tell. So
Yeah. So when you attune to the amulet, Wilfred, you there's a tiny little sort of buzzing that's in your mind that's easy to ignore, but if you focus on it, you get the sense that there's a direction you can point, and you know that the shield guardian is about 59 miles away to approximately the east southeast, or excuse me, west southwest. And if you all kind of look at the map on that, it looks like that would be approximately where Karkalak is.
Well. Huh.
Funny how these things work.
I guess we have something to
guess we know where we're going next.
What do you do with the ring, Wilfred? Are you wearing it?
Actually, on the way up, Wilfred would have stopped by the basilisk body and basically get a drop of its blood, put it on the inside, and then store it away.
Okay.
Okay.
Basically, he's his idea is return home. If possible, get the original ring. Present both rings to his father and say, "So, which one's real? Which one is your ring?"
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
All right.
And
I figured
the drop of blood is
just
to
take the-
identify which one is which.
Okay. So you do that, and then what with it? In a pouch
Just-
or?
Put it in a pocket.
Okay. All right. So you all, you settle into your hut. I think Valine is paging through some of the books you recovered before turning in for the night. Is anyone else doing anything before you turn in for your long rest?
I'm going to attune to that. I did attune to the amulet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
So you
that-
have. Hang on. Let me see if it's called a specific thing here. Because there is a standard version of the item in the D&D Beyond, but I don't know if this one is a special one. Oh, man, why is this? I hate it so much when occasionally what Roll20 will do is if you open something and then pop it out as a separate window and then close it, it won't let you reopen it. But that's fine. Give me just a second. I can get it a different way. All right. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So, Shield Guardian Amulet is what you have.
Okay, just a regular one?
Yeah, I mean, except that the one difference is that I think what it says is you can psychically command the Shield Guardian to come to you, but what you know is that in this case, it needs to be reactivated first.
Yeah. Well, it does mention that there's a reactivation.
Okay, so in that case, that's what you've got. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So in the in the morning, I think as you're kind of stirring and emerging from your hut, it's about that time that Dazan and Crintus are emerging themselves from the tower, and he's got all bulked up, and he's just looking to you and says, "I got my spell slots back. It worked."
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Welcome to mortality.
All right.
Yeah, welcome to the
So,
land of living.
based on my understanding of the intentions, how about you tell me where you're going, so I will go somewhere else.
How about if you just leave the
Leave 10. Maybe 10 towns is wrecked and destroyed by the Shardolin Dragon. You might as well just head
Wait,
south
what?
and keep going.
Yes.
Yes.
The Duergar made a huge dragon out of Shardolin, and it wrecked most of 10 towns. There's not much here to come to. You'd probably be best just leaving the area.
Is the dragon destroyed?
Yes.
Yep.
Dragon is
I
gone.
have.
We destroyed it over in Brenshander. Unfortunately, it left it destroyed a good deal of that city and most of the other towns.
Do they still have its body?
Mm,
You know what? Never
I
mind.
believe-
I will just leave, and you don't have to worry about me.
How
If you
about
go to Bridgehander, you'll get burned at the stake again. So how about you just avoid that and
just leave Icewind Dale?
yeah, make better choices this time.
Indeed. So, Excelsior! Good luck to you in your mission, and watch out that Valine doesn't betray you! Bye! And he just hustles off in the other direction, and Valine just, turns a wry grin to you, and just like you needed him to warn you about that.
all right. Now,
So,
Fran-
I didn't catch what Valine said.
Like you needed him to warn you about that.
Oh,
She's just basically, she's not dumb that you don't entirely trust her.
now,
okay.
we need to discuss what our next destination is.
I think we should talk to the Goliaths.
I think we should too.
We're close enough. We're up here at, we're nearly at the Rega Glacier anyway. So either one of those two places I think would be the best.
Well, I would
place
like
to
to go
go.
to my home at Sky Tower Shelter.
Tell me, Marcher, are the rumors correct that I've heard that the Goliaths at Sky Tower Shelter train griffins?
Yes, we use them in hunting. The way you smaller people use hawks or falcons.
Fascinating. Do you suppose griffins are large enough to carry medium, humanoid creatures? Could they be used to fly us to the island?
Do I know how many griffins they have?
Enough to do that, if they would be willing to lend them.
It is conceivable. I mean, they are it would not be the kind of thing that I would ask for.
Just a thought.
Just like, oh hey, how about this? I mean, this is a long way away, and there's a limit to how long they can fly before they need to rest. So, but it is conceivable.
I just thought that it would be good to explore options for how to get to this island that we are trying to go to.
Well, I want to find out what's been happening with my family. And
I can
we are
understand.
closer now than we have been practically since we've been adventuring together, and I want to show them what I've accomplished since leaving.
Very well.
Looking at the map, the Cave of the Berserkers is actually on the way. Do we want to hit that on the way
Why?
to Sky Tower Shelter?
What did we hear about that? I can't remember myself.
I mean, Oyar Minotaur kind of implied that it was a hazard in the area, that, you know, there was sort of an offhand, oblique reference to, like, yeah, maybe you should do something about that, but without really saying you must or please do.
I mean,
Yeah.
we can definitely do that. I mean, it would also lower some of the dangers in the area of Marcher's home.
Right. Specifically, what you heard about it is that they, some of the Reged nomads had started carrying these strange black crystal weapons and were acting crazy. So,
Yeah.
Didn't we find a fellow acting crazy carrying a black crystal weapon in the
Tackling
in the-
Chasm? Yes, you sure did.
Took it and then you used that spear to attack the dragon.
Don't remind me that I missed.
What? You did very well against that dragon.
I did, and I got the killing blow. But if I imagine how much less damage it would have done if I had hit it with the first one.
Learn from your mistakes, but do not dwell on them, Marcher. It does you no good.
Exactly. Marcher remembers. Send him
Center
out.
of Mass.
I had never shot one of those before until that day. All right. Anyways, I agree that it is worthwhile to look into the cave, especially if we can. It's practically on the way.
Sure.
So
Okay.
I think we should head there.
Well, perhaps that's what we will do next week. As we close our session for tonight. I don't know. I mean, unless you guys want to just keep going. I mean, we're at our usual closing time.
Yeah, I have stuff I need to do. So.
All right.
I think
So
that's a good-
we will close our session for tonight and continue the Seeker's journey next week on So Many Levels, Rime of the Frostmaiden.
Yeah.